T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Trap Talk Reptile Network, coolest reptile network in the world. Welcome to Trap Talk with MJ, episode 476. Nicole Lyons, round 2. Oh, it's going to be a great episode tonight. Got that Canada, United States collaboration with two of the best out of Canada. Two darn home, but two awesome United States keepers as well. You know what I'm saying? But what is good, everyone? I'm your boy MJ. Hope everyone's having a great week. You guys are almost there. Thursday night's a good night, good way to get into your weekend. You know what I'm saying? It's like an early Friday night, and that's how we do things here. But this is your first time hanging out. If you're into keeping reptiles, you want to know what's happening, who the best breeders are, and learn from them. Well, this is the podcast to be subscribed to. So hit that subscribe button and then hit that like button if you're in the ball python game. If you're an RCR fan, if you're a Nicole Lyons fan, Canadian Reigus, man. If you're representing Canada tonight, hit that like button right now. All right. But seriously, if you listen to this podcast on all the major audio platforms, Apple, Spotify, Buzzsprout, thank you so much. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe to those platforms as well. Drop a comment. Give me some feedback. Big things popping here at the network, man. And I got to say thank you to all the love and support. Early birds, who's here? Let's get straight to the early birds. I don't want to mess around. I love the support in the early bird comments all the time. And our homegirl, man, Nora Fi Exotics, the homegirl Chris in the building, Trap Talk Patreon member, B-Unit family all day, every day. Heath and Hatchery, the guy of the week, I want to say, after a Monday night new breed on the block, probably the Monday night new breed on the block of the year. I don't know. It's going to be hard to top that one, but thank you so much, Heath and Hatchery, for having such an awesome episode, man. Please go give my guy a follow. B-Unit family, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. All City Serpents, homie James B, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. BJ's Creations, homie Eric, Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Jacob Beal, what's up, Jason Beal? Nice to see you. I don't know why I keep butchering that name. Bradley Press in the building. What's up, Bradley P? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Eric's More Factory in the building. V-Unit family. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Celtic Reptiles in the building. What is good? Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. Piyush Patel, my guy. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. The homie Matt B in the building. Trap Talk Patreon member all day, every day. And we're going to end it with the homie Reptile, another epic Trap Talk Patreon member. Guys, if you are in the chats tonight, do not be shy with the super chat. If you have got a question or a topic, anything that relates to what we have going on, or if you just want to show some love, drop a super chat. Appreciate all that love and support. Let's get to what's important, and that's supporting US ARC. All right. If you are inside the reptile game, it is vital that you help us get these US ARC numbers up immediately. So go to usarc.org and go to US ARC Florida. Please support both foundations because it's all about us keeping our animal rights. You never know when the legislations are going to hit your city, your backyard. It's a scary thing to think of, but do your homework, do your due diligence, support US ARC, be on the same team. Thank you out there if you support US ARC. Really means a lot. Appreciate you fighting the fight for us, man. I do want to say tonight's episode is brought to you by my good buddy Steve and his family over at CONDUIT Constrictors. Head over to CONDUIT Constrictors on Instagram, and also check them out on MORPH Market. See what amazing double, triple recessive projects they are tapped in with. Really up and coming in the ball python game, man. For as long as they've been in it, they are not messing around. And looking forward to finally getting CONDUIT Constrictors on Trap Talk and really diving deep into their projects. But for now, go give them a follow, go support them. And man, I would go cop some of that heat immediately if I was you. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate your love and support. I also want to say tonight's episode is brought to you by the Chipper. Number one, COCO substrate in the game. You go to cocodude.com. Check out what is available as far as chipper substrate goes. I like the COCO to go. Comes in a bell, already broken down, ready to rock. And that's my go-to. Actually getting a lot in because I'm going full COCO chip now. No more paper. Ditching chip paper, except for my neonates, my condo neonates. They're going to stay on paper. But either way, cocodude.com. All right. Make sure you type in TrapFam24. Get 24% off the entire year. And yeah, shout out to the COCO dude. Appreciate the love and support. Also, tonight's episode is brought to you by Juggernaut Reptiles, one of the best reptile keepers in the game, who works with diverse reptiles. You know what I'm saying? Short tails, bloods, anacondas. He's even tapped into the ball python game. This dude's made his mark in a lot of amazing species in the reptiles and has put me on from the very beginning. And he's one of my sponsors, and I'm super honored. So thank you, Elijah Armis and his wife, Tiffany Armis, Juggernaut Reptiles. Follow them on Instagram. You can find them at Every Tinley. They do not miss. And also, please follow his Morph Market. All right. Thank you so much. And his Facebook page, Juggernaut Reptiles. You can find all the links to my sponsors in the description below. So please go check him out. And here he is, a guy who's joining me for tonight's sick-ass episode. Villarino Reptiles, Big E Top G. What is good?
What's up? How you doing, man? Good evening, everyone.
Thursday. It's not even a Monday, and it's a Thursday. You're here.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Great, man. Great.
I'd like to have you here on Thursday nights, man. Big episode. I got to say, you know, Nicole Lyons, she's been on my show, but it's been a while, and she has, man, I knew she was going to kill it, but I feel like she's well ahead, way more ahead than I thought she was going to be right now with a lot of projects. You had you checked her out as far as her page and all that. You know what she has going on, correct?
Yeah, and I also watched the episode 118.
Damn, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Definitely well overdue.
Yeah, she's got some amazing. I could say I know Exantic. You know, I know Exantic stuff, Exantic, Black Exantic. You know, all the lines. I could say that I put her up there, top 2 easily right now in the Exantic game, without a doubt.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think the very first time I started seeing DG Pides was from her, and I was like blown away. Actually, with Hypo, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure she was hitting DG Hypo Pide stuff. Which we'll talk about it. We're going to get into a lot of meat potatoes of Nicole Lyons from Canadian Regents' projects. With her tonight is no other than Will Morrow. So I mean, as far as Canada powerhouse team in the building, I mean, you know what's funny? You sent me a video about how big Canada is. You know, and Canada's not that big. It's really not. You know. They compared
land mass. It is
land. No, yeah, but that's a lot of land though. That land that's not being lived on. I feel like. Too, right?
So what I would say is that Will, Nicole, and some of the Canadian breeders, man, the ones that are killing it, they're doing it with a much harder. It's much harder for them. Let's just say that, and we'll get into that tonight.
Definitely, man. And I don't know about you, but I'm ready to rock and roll. They're hanging out. They're ready to rock. So you down to bring in Will and Nicole for this round 2?
Mafia. Right. Let's go.
Shout to everyone in the comments, but you guys know what time it is. It's a time to do what you got to do to get your mind right. Do what you got to do to stay hydrated. Episode 476, Trap Talk with MJ, going down right now. Let's go. Cheers.
Good.
You ready for do more in the future? Trap Talk podcasts?
Yes.
Man.
Only Trap Talk. Exclusive.
Yes.
Exclusive. Oh.
So stop calling us.
Rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the crop, gotta love it or not. I'm hot from the hop to the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with the rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up rub the spot, get the club to pop. When I come up with everybody, we do it. Everybody, we do it. Do it. Do it.
Episode 476. We're live with Canada's finest. Will Morrows, Nicole Lyons. What is good?
Hello.
What's up?
What's going on?
Nicole makes her return, and holy shit, Nicole, you are killing it. Not gonna lie.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Nicole. Will,
Oh yeah, I'm sorry,
Nice to meet you.
Nicole. You haven't met Emilio before. This is your guys' first time meeting, correct?
Right.
All right. And you met
Yeah.
Will.
Yeah, Will. What's up,
Yes,
Will?
I've met Mel.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, seriously, thanks for being here, you two. It really means a lot. Nicole, it's been a long time since I've gotten catch up with your projects personally, but before we dive into things, how are you feeling? 2024, we're already through our first quarter. Holy shit. But let's catch up real quick. What's going on, man? How's everything?
Feels good. Still waiting on eggs. Have some ovulations going on. You know, same old, same old. I'm excited.
Are you seasonal, meaning like does everything happen one time of the year for you and then it calms down and then okay. So where are we at right now? Ovulations are happening right now?
Yeah, majority of ovulations are happening now. For the past few years, I've just been having clutches just pretty much just in July and August hatching. So it seems like it's going to be like that this year too.
So you've had clutches already hit the ground then?
Not yet. I have
Okay.
a girl behind me that's due any day now for the first.
And what do we look at numbers wise as far as how many clutches you could possibly hit this year?
Maybe like 30-ish, I'm thinking.
And did last year's like market change and everything have any effect with that number, or was it always going to be around 30? Has that always been like an average number for you as far as what you want to hit?
Yeah, I'm seeing pretty comfortable around there. I like 25 to 35, I think. I like that number.
Yeah. And so, okay, to hit 25 to 35, like I'm curious what your ratio is like how many females are you pairing up to hit that number?
Not very many. I have probably close to 100 females, but I don't use them all. I'd say it's probably about 80% of the females I breed though.
Well, you've been to a collection, right?
No.
Yeah, he hasn't yet.
I've been invited, but I couldn't make it. Yeah. Yeah.
Because how many hours is she from you, Will?
Like
five-ish. Yeah. It's a long 5-hour drive. that strip past Toronto is brutal.
Yeah, Toronto's the worst part.
Yeah.
Can you remind me, Nicole, like what year it was when you really started picking things up as like, you know, calling yourself the breeder that you are now? Like, what year was that?
Well, I've been Canadian Regis for a long time, probably like 13 years. So I branded pretty early on, but I didn't really go like balls deep, so to say, until maybe like 2018-ish, where I invested, like actually made what I would call an investment.
And were those the type of investments that you're flourishing with now? Like you did hit a DG hypopide, right? Wasn't that you that did that? Okay.
Yeah.
That was 2 years ago? Or a year and a half or so? Like about over a year ago.
Yeah, she's probably a year and a half now.
And that was not expected, or was it expected? Remind me about hitting that snake. I don't know if it was something that was a surprise or if it wasn't.
It was a surprise. It was from a desert ghost pied to a leopard desert ghost head hypopide. So my first reaction was a male proved head hypo, but I did breed him to a couple things last year. He didn't prove head hypo, so I think she's Partho. But she's doing well right now, so.
Damn.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the big pluses about the ball python game. You know, you kind of get these like, what the hell did this come from type of bonus. Doesn't happen a lot, but it happens. I mean, have you gotten lucky like that, Will, with anything? Like
no.
Hypo popping up?
No, I'm the opposite. I get the opposite luck, man. Of course, good stuff pops out from here time to time. But I don't have, I joke with Nicole, I don't have her luck at all. So it's, it happens, right? I have not hit a triple or a quad. so yeah, I'm just, I'm just watching what she's doing.
Where you at, Will, as far as triples? Like, what do you plan on hitting them at some time, like within the next year or so, or even like focus on that right now?
Oh yeah, for sure. I've been really focusing more on getting like the ingredients right rather than just shooting for a triple. And I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to do it. But I mean, the triples I'm obviously going to be working towards are your DG hypo puzzle, DG axanthic puzzle, DG hypo clown, DG axanthic clown. Like those are the four big ones for sure. Okay. And right now I'm just focusing on loading up, good combo puzzle double het DG hypos, good DG hypos that are het puzzle, good DG puzzle het hypos. But I have a shot this year for some triples, DGG stripe clowns, and I have 3 clutches. Looks like we're gonna get 3 clutches of quad het DGA Xanthic Clown Pied to quad het DGA Xanthic Clown Pied. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, those odds are astronomical, so I just kind of go into it expecting nothing.
Yeah, and it's so true what he says, right, Nicole? Because, like, okay, you could shoot for a triple, but what if there's really nothing in that triple to kind of really give it its full, like, I guess foundation to work off of? Because, I mean, you hit a triple, it's not over after that, obviously. It's just another huge stepping stone.
It's just the new base,
It's a whole new base, but it's like a pretty flex of a base, right? But for you, like, what has been like those ingredients? What has been something that you're like, all right, like, I got this triple that I hit now. What's the big move forward as far as what to put in this triple, or what has been like the go-to for you as far as those ingredients?
Well, assuming she can lay viable eggs this season, I'm going for a blackhead desert ghost pied het hypo male. So we'll see. That's kind of the direction I'm going right now with it.
Okay, blackhead desert ghost pied. Would you say that again?
Het hypo.
Het hypo. Okay.
So if that happens, hopefully, then he would go to the female triple. And we'll see from there.
No, one
step at a time.
I have a real like crazy question. Like this only like has thought into my brain process as far as like really trying to pursue pied as a triple recessive project, because you got to work with like a lot of stuff that you don't need, right? Like you're going to be producing a lot of pieds that are like high whites. You know what I mean? Like and obviously you pick the ones you really want, but then here you are sitting on a lot of stuff that's going to be difficult to sell, and that's why I feel like that's my only urge, my only eke with pied, right? So have you had to deal with that, like ending up keeping a lot of pied that just can't sell because either the markings aren't there or whatever, like it's too high white? Like are you dealing with any of those issues?
No, I don't think pieds are really hard to sell. I think there's been a lot of opinions that high white is when pieds first started, like everyone wanted high white, right? That was the thing. You couldn't keep them. They would sell like crazy. Now everyone wants low white. It's just everyone has their own tastes when it comes to pied, and that's one of the main reasons why I like them so much, is because they're so variable. And in the end, they're great. They're great pet animals, and if they're not going to go to a breeder because they want a specific ratio, like the pet person's right next in line for it. So
yeah, but like for instance, like how low of a price do you mark that snake when you have one that maybe is the same snake, but it has more of an insane like markings and like have you ever made a pied that the exact same genetics, but one is like low to mid white and the other one's high white? Like do you you price those snakes exactly the same, or how's that work?
It depends on my personal preference. If I like one more than the other, it'll be a higher price, and people can accept that or shoot me an offer. And it is what it is, right? In the end, it's I want my buyers to be happy with their snake for whatever price we agree on.
Right.
And sometimes, I'll keep a higher price on the exact same animal just because I like it better. So if that's the last one left and I have to keep it, well, I'd rather it be the one I like the most.
Will secretly hates pied and just won't admit it.
That's okay. I secretly hate puzzles, so.
Let me add something to that real quick.
Oh, yeah, we banter back and forth quite a bit.
Yeah. If it was me, if I hit two animals and they have very similar genes, I'll post both. If I have to keep the high white and it has the genes, I'll use it as for breeding purposes. I mean,
yeah. See, everyone does.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like a het you can't sell that is a het, but nobody wants to buy it for whatever stupid reason, like.
Yeah.
But I feel like you like have a lot of those when it comes to the amount of snakes you are producing to try to hit this triple recessive, because we all can agree it all comes down to numbers, right? Like if you want your odds to be big as far as hitting a visual triple or quad recessive, kind of need a lot of snakes to be breeding, right? Like you need like numbers on your side, or do you get lucky with just one or two pairs off of that? I mean, what do you guys have to say to that?
I mean, yes, but also no. You can do things to mitigate the odds quite a bit. Like instead of, obviously every time I have a shot to shoot for a triple recessive, I'll take the shot. You're going to miss every shot you don't take, right?
Right.
But I approach the triples and I work fairly hard to make sure that I'm making, double visuals that are het for a third gene. And you start to make those and you really, triple recessives are, I don't want to say that they're not hard to make per se. It's just they're hard to hit initially. And then once you get those, like the recessive game, once you get it rolling, it's pretty plug and play. And and yeah, I mean, it's just like every year we're trying to reduce the odds of, instead of going quad het to quad het, now we're double visual double het to a visual triple het, or, just every year trying to like lower and lower those odds. And eventually you get to, double visual het to a double visual het, and you're a 1 in 4 shot to produce a triple. That's as good as you can get, really.
And Nicole, do you feel like you're almost like you have a couple of those like feelings with some of your double recessive projects right now? Like it's kind of like steamrolling into a good momentum where now it's not so much to really stress about.
Yeah, I mean, Will has it right. Like once you get it going, like I bought my Desert Ghost Pied, I think in 2019, and now I have like multiple visual Desert Ghost Pied head hypos, Pied double head Desert Ghost hypos, like just from that initial male, and then having the right females, and in a couple of years I'll be drowning in Desert Ghost hypo Pied, hopefully. So
yeah, like for myself, this season, everything I have coming for triple head stuff is new genes that I brought in, right? But all my established stuff now for this coming season, everything's gonna be homozygous double heads, full clutches of it. So and then the following season I'll just bring some codoms in. So I'm really, really excited about that.
Now you mentioned blackhead, right, Nicole? And I can't get enough about blackhead, the genetics. So, but are you like focused on having blackhead be in super form as much as possible, or do you do less is more with the super form and just like blackhead being single gene and a lot of the double, triple, and quad recessives you're gonna be working here?
So blackhead in general, I'm pretty isolated in the Desert Ghost Pied project. I'm not really going for the super. It would be nice to have a couple shots at the super just for the Desert Ghost aspect when I miss the Pied.
Right.
But my main goal is the single gene because I think it has more potential visually than the super.
But then you also, like, stuff we're talking about here obviously hasn't been made yet, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it would be good because we don't know. Like,
what?
We didn't hear you.
Oh, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
So but I said, but it is cool to know that we hit that isolated form with blackhead, but like now there's a super form which we don't know what that looks like either. Now, you know what I mean? As far
might see this year. I got a girl that's about to ovulate.
Oh, I love it. I mean, because here, like some of the stuff that I'm like my biggest recipes with double, triple recessive projects I'm working with is like super asphalt and super gravel, right? And like obviously, what makes that genetic is a super form of it, obviously.
Yeah.
But blackhead just seems to be like pretty fire, like it doesn't need to be a super form for it to have an impact. You know what I mean? Where
100%, yeah.
I feel like with gravel and asphalt, you have to put it in a super form for it to really like have something to flex on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But blackhead is like, you can kind of choose. Like, dude, you could go chill route, or you could go insane and go black if you want to go that insane. And I say this almost every podcast. I love the dark stuff. It's my jam. You know. But I don't know. But another thing, right? We're talking blackhead and pied, correct?
Yeah.
Super blackhead pied stuff would kind of like super blackhead would kind of dominate almost anything in a pied, maybe you think, and just be like a black looking snake, like a black pied looking snake, maybe.
Yeah, and then I think adding Desert Ghost and Hypo to it would be really cool. It would be a really cool looking snake, but I'm looking for more than that. I'm looking for. You'll see.
Who knows? All right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Tell me more. No. So, okay. Now, anything that you have pivoted away from, Nicole, like, I mean, like I said, it's been about over 2 years since we've had you on the show. A lot of people grow, people evolve. That's what it's all about. Anything that you were working with then that you just kind of redirected away from?
Generally, my goals have stayed pretty consistent. I've added a couple of things, not much taken away. I think I've gotten solace in the fact that I'm not chasing clowns like I thought I would. It's,
wow, that's a good metaphor in life. Period. Not chasing clowns.
Yeah, right. I was chasing it for a while. They're very hyped up, but they're just not for me. I'll keep them and breed them because there's a couple projects I do like with them, but I kept trying to be like, I gotta get into another recessive, but I just didn't like any of them. So I'm just gonna stick with just clown as like a side project. So that's probably something I'm not gonna expand on anymore, to kind of answer your question. But getting rid of, I haven't really gotten rid of anything. I've kept pretty consistent.
I think you guys, all three of you, for sure. I mean, I talked to a lot of new ball python breeders, obviously coming into the game, but I feel like a lot of you guys are probably getting them asking you questions as far as like stuff to like build a foundation off of. And I got to say, when I came in, it was all about clown, right? Like, you were an idiot if you didn't get clown back when I started in 2017. But that's not the case, huh? Like, there's not a lot of people who's starting off with clown in their projects now. Like, I'm starting to realize that. Isn't that
It was
true?
very hyped up for a bit. We were really hyped up for a bit. The Batman started it for sure. It's a good looking snake, but yeah.
Good, E.
What I wanted to say is that I have notes for this. I got to give kudos to Will, because he got into puzzle when a lot of people weren't into puzzle, right?
Oh, facts.
I got into Exantic in 2009 when people used to think it was a shitty snake.
Yep.
Nicole, I bet you got into black Exantic when nobody believed in it.
Oh yeah.
So if anything you could take from us three here is work with, if you believe in something, go for it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I thought I'd expound on what MJ was going at.
Yeah, and also even with DG, right, Will? Like, nobody gave a shit about DG when you were starting to stack it, right, back in 2010.
I was told so, like, I couldn't tell you how many times I was told that the females don't breed because everybody thought it was a desert hypo, and it just the circumstance of Desert Ghost was out for a long time before Desert came out, and then Desert came out and it was like the rage. And you ran into infertility issues, and I was told over and over and over again, they're not going to breed. I don't know why you keep buying them. And I'm like, guys, you guys are tripping. Like, you do your research. They're going to do fine. And yeah, here we are. They do fine.
People wanted that incomplete dominant.
Yeah,
fast. Let's go.
That was the codon craze, man. Like, nobody cared
bro.
about a recessive. It was you could get a banana like instantly into. Deserts, GHIs, like all that stuff. It was a fun time. Like, I mean, you saw, like, wow, shit was just advancing well.
Yeah, but you want to talk about morphs that tank overnight? Yeah, that was a codon game for sure. Like, that's when I realized. That's when I realized this whole stacking thing was like a manipulation. Like, this was a con, and everyone else who knew that was like secretly stacking recessives, and like I felt like that they. Think about people who knew this and needed to get rid of a lot of incomplete dominant, and all these new people like my ass and all these other idiots that came in, and they just got thrown all this codom shit. I'll never forget how much incomplete dominant stuff I had at one point, like stuff that didn't even matter. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but like,
that's how you start, though. That's how you start.
True. No, I wouldn't be able to build nothing without that, because I was actually able to do what happened to me to somebody else. I was able to get that stuff in someone else's hand, use that money to actually invest in, or actually just hold on to stuff I really love. And for me, it was all about GHI. I was always like just gun-ho about GHI and then hypo, right? And I always told myself, no matter what I do with ball pythons, I'll never stop messing with these two. And that's kind of, you're right. You have to start with something to kind of like chisel away at and figure what it is that's your like set in stone. But let's think about it. 2024, dude, you have so much information out there now. Like, how easy is it to get knowledge on what to get into as far as what's trending or what's hot, which isn't always a good thing, but let's be honest. If you want to catch up, though, what's being worked with, you look at the trendy stuff. You just don't – I don't think you buy into it. I think you just kind of have to look at it. I don't know.
I mean, I think you can do both. Like, it depends on how you want to approach it. Like, I don't know what the answer is. I don't know if I was getting in now. Like, I don't know where I would start.
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
I still like what I like, so I would just end up gravitating towards that. So like it's hard to say like, oh, this gene's hot right now. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, this industry is very flavor of the week, like one gene blows up.
It's vlog of the week.
Yeah, one gene blows up for a year, and then but that gene that blows up has been around for 15 years. It just takes a couple of guys to like, hey, this is why this thing's sick, and then oh my god, everyone goes crazy for it. And I think every gene has its day, and the really I think we're going to start to see. I don't know if this is true or not, but I think we're going to start to see collections. Like I've always sort of said that, like we all start off when it's like a tree. You shoot up. Everyone's got the same shit, shooting up, and then everybody branches off and goes different directions. There's some overlap, of course, but I think you're going to start to see collections look significantly different from each other's moving forward, especially over the next 10 years.
But right now, very similar for the across the board. This is why people are having problems selling stuff. A lot of people invested into the same shit in 2017, 2018, 2019. This is why can't your DG Clown sell? Because there's fucking millions of other ones out there now at this point.
Because you were just trying to make DG Clowns.
Right, exactly, right. So
you're trying to reproduce the same thing over and over again. That's been a failing strategy right from this first day.
Right.
You just tried to produce bananas and bananas and bananas and bananas. You did well if you were in the first group, but you got screwed if you were in the last group. So,
dude, for real.
But the guys who took banana and put it into something else, they did very well.
It's crazy how a phone call away, like let's just say you're just one phone call away for some information could possibly save you thousands and thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like as far as like inside information, stuff that comes around. Because think about like the people who were able to sell that last banana for $20K, because right before anyone else could figure out what was happening. Like that's why you got to be smart, man. You got to be, and you know, impulse buys are not always a good thing. You know, like you gotta have to like hunker down and just be really strategic with your buys, dude.
We had we had been talking about banana, and I got a phone call from a guy in the States, and he's like, "Hey, how many bananas are in Canada, do you think?" And I was like, "Oh, honestly, like probably a lot. Like there's probably like 10." And he's like, 10? He's like, "I think there's 10 on my street." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And I was like, "He's like, can I send you some and sell them?" I was like, "Honestly, dude, no, I'm not gonna get into this. Like, I hope you move them, but and I'm glad we stayed away from that whole mess. But collection just wasn't ready to pull the trigger on something like that."
Right. So
now, if I could add something really quick
sure.
to what we were talking about there, there's a lot of the same clown stuff out there right now.
Yeah,
clown stuff.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I mean, 14,000 ball pythons on MORPH market that have clown in them.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot.
And then I'll bet you if you go back in through that, it's like break down like, and no fault to Justin, this is an incredible animal, but go break down yellow belly, black pastel, red stripe, and spot nose. Yeah. How many have those in them? Like,
same color palette, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love clown, guys. I'm always working my clown stuff, but I'm gonna be selective with it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, but like, you know, that's why it's almost like working with trendy stuff could also get your mind off you having to be selective with stuff. Like you might think whatever you're working with could go into anything that you want to put in, but that's not the case. Like every morph should be selective, I feel like, because you just don't want to be that next person to make that next same thing. Like it's not easy, but it's also easy to be different in the ball python game. It really is. Like it's all about not rushing anything and hurrying up to want to make something there's like too many of them. You know what I'm saying? But the whole idea is just kind of breeding for yourself is like that's like the thing that needs to be instilled in any new breeder. I feel like is like your first customer base should be yourself for like a long time. You know, like you need to just hoard and keep everything that's the best if you're making that kind of shit. But the problem that COVID did to these COVID breeders is instead of them making this amazing shit that they should hold back, it got them in a position where, okay, they made it and they need to make their money back. You know what I'm saying? Like price is everything over these people's heads right now. And that's why
this industry has gotten to the point where like it's all price. And we got to step back from that. Like when we all got into this because you wanted to make cool looking animals and like you were attracted to like the genetic component and like that is what like it runs this industry. And you if you take a step back from that, you're like, you know what? Especially new guys come into this as a hobby. I see a lot of guys come in and just like, boom, 200 snakes, racks, and some of them do really well, but lots of them don't. And that's unfortunate. If they had started off small and instead of buying stuff to be like, okay, if I buy this and I pair it to this, I'll make $10,000. Like, stop thinking that way. Think, if I get something like this and I pair it to something like this, I have a chance to make something that looks incredible. Because if you make stuff that looks incredible, the money comes. It just does.
But guys, let's be honest. Are there some people painting that narrative out there where if they come in, they're going to be rich?
For sure. For sure they are.
Yeah. But let me ask you guys, both of you. Nicole, we've kind of muted you a little bit.
That's okay.
I don't see anyone advocating to get 200 snakes. That's insanity. And people are doing it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's crazy to me how you could go for, in 1 year, you could get 100 snakes.
I talked to a guy recently who was on, sorry, Nicole. I talked to a guy recently that was going into his 4th year. And I was like, what are you aiming to do this year? He's like 150 clutches. I was like, what? Yeah. 4th year. I was like, 4th year. I did like 12, man. Like, yeah. Like crazy, right? I've never done 150. I'm like, no way.
No.
Hey, I'll never forget. There was this one couple out of Florida, very nice couple, but holy shit, where they fucking just, there was nobody up top, man. They came on the show a long time ago too. They came on the show and I asked like what their main goals were, and it was mainly the guy talking, and he said his goal was to produce every morph.
Oh my god.
Good luck.
Yeah.
I was like, can you say that one more time? He's like, I want to make every morph. I'm like, what? I was like, you have room, and not only that, like, are you like, what's the point of this? Like, is this a world record type of thing that you're going for? But
hey, so for the audience, if you get 100 clutches and you have, let's say, 200 snakes, you're gonna start taking care of 800 snakes.
Yeah.
Think about that for a minute.
Yeah,
that's
too
a lot. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. People paint this, this like, oh, perfect picture world, like 100 clutches, but they don't even know the work that comes behind all that. Like, I think getting the clutches is the easy part. What to do with all those snakes, that's when things really come into like, do you have even a name in the industry yet? Do people like do you know where to take these snakes if you get them?
Let alone your name? Can you even feed them?
That's what I'm thinking this whole time. It's like,
can you even feed them? Like, do you have the rodent production to just scale up to be like, that's an art. Like to if you produce your own rodents, you know that like when the baby boom comes, it's timing that is tricky. And
we're talking about no success in breeding if your rodent feeding isn't on point.
Might as well not breed them.
Like, what's the point? You can't. You're gonna have dead snakes at that point. If you try to.
As Nicole said something earlier about her timing and all that. When you've been doing this a long time, it's like clockwork, right? And now, if you're also breeding your rodents, in essence, we're farmers.
Oh yeah.
Agriculture, baby.
Every single part of the year is important. There is something important to do throughout the year. If you mess up on something, you're in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
just like in real farming, man. Like it's really, it comes down to what's logical. What's crazy is like people, not everyone, but some people come in here with fucking, they got extra money and they don't give a fuck, but they don't even care where they could save money, right? So, but that's also where it goes wrong, because it's, finding a way to have your own rodent produce goes a lot deeper than saving money, right? It ensures you're going to have a fucking successful breeding season when you produce your own rodents. You don't have to rely on nobody, okay? That's the whole beauty of it. But we're talking a whole nother 9 to 5 right there. Not really 9 to 5, but when you have a whole rodent day, that's a full fucking day. I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Emilio,
today was my rodent day.
Nicole, do you do your own rodents?
Yeah.
Gangster. God damn, that's hard. How long have you been doing that for?
Always. I think there's only a couple of years that I've not bred rodents. I wouldn't do this if I didn't breed them, that's for sure.
Are you a one-lady crew?
Yeah, pretty much. I have a partner, and he helps me. He feeds and waters the rats and helps me clean every couple of weeks. So
what's your partner's name? I gotta give him props. What's his name?
Chris.
Shout out to Chris.
Yeah.
Does he breed, or is he just like supportive?
No, he's just a huge support. Yeah.
What a guy. We need more guys like Chris. Shout out to Chris. But I have to ask you though, like, man, a day-to-day for you, like, is everything shot out for your week, or like, I think one of the biggest things I learned recently from having a kid is like, you got to fucking schedule your shit. There's no time to fuck off. And holy shit, scheduling your day or your week is the best thing you can do. Yeah. And I'm sure like it's no joke with you too. So I'm curious how you schedule your day out and what it is like a day-to-day for you,
every day has its place. I still work part-time too at a day job on top of this, so 3 days a week is for that, and then I just schedule all the snake and the rat stuff in between.
So shout to Blackheart Exotics, another sick ass Canadian homie in the building. So where do you produce your rodents? Because he's talking about a rodent building. Are they in an old building now and going to get upgraded, or what's he mean by the super chat? Thank you, by the way, Mike, for the super chat.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. So right now they're in a one-car garage temporarily. I bought this house a couple of years ago with the idea to do the basement and for the snakes and build a building for the rats. So the building right now is being built. It's almost done. It's a 16 by 40 building, and that'll be just for rats.
Wow. Okay. And I'm curious, like, what has been your experience producing rats? Like, did you ever have a huge learning curve? Were you able to figure it out pretty well? Like, because that's not always an easy transition for people to like start their rodent produce. Some people figure it out quicker than others. I know Emilio, one of the biggest advantages being a part of his V-Unit family on Instagram is like, they talk about all that stuff. He's really good at and dialed in as far as producing mice and whatnot. But for you, like, do you feel like there was a point where it was like, fuck, like, holy shit, this is tough? Or was it always like straightforward for you?
It was pretty straightforward, only because I started really small. I didn't wait until I had a big snake collection to do the rats. I knew right from the beginning, when I was still a teenager, just starting to breed snakes, that I wanted to breed rats.
Right.
And I was really lucky that I worked at a pet store at the time, and I was able to start at the pet store instead of in my home. So I was able to set up some cages there and just slowly just kept going from there.
Damn.
Nicole, I have a question.
Yeah.
You only produce rats?
And ASF.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's simply what I was gonna ask you because
Open it up. Come on, let's go. We're gonna open it.
No. It ain't
Come on.
No, it's not about comparing.
What is it all?
Comparing. Hold on.
No, stop.
Hold
I'm
on.
gonna pull it. I'm gonna pull it in the chats right now.
No, it's just the fact that hatchlings don't start easily on rats. That's all I was gonna ask her. That's all.
Sure they do. All my
I mean,
hatchlings start on rats.
I across the board, the industry mainly starts, again, across the board, they start on hoppers and ASFs, and then we switch to rats. But
Yeah.
if you've
Everyone
had
does things
if you've had
differently,
success, I mean, that's great.
Yeah, I start all of mine on a live rat pup, and I have a 99%
All right.
success
good.
on it.
80 people in the building. Let's hear it in the poll in the chats. ASFs or rats? Let's get these numbers because they don't lie. Let's see what is preferred. Only because there was a time and place where people were swearing by ASFs, giving you better production, all sorts of stuff. Will actually switched over fully to ASFs, right, Will?
I still stand by that. Yeah.
That could take over the whole episode, but I breed mice and ASFs. All my adults eat rats. I only breed mice because they are a valued, they're commodity down here. I sell them. I feed them to my hatchlings, but I feed predominantly rats. So
That'd be fine. Like, really, if we really want to break it down, what's the best thing for them? It'd be a varied diet.
yeah,
That's what I was about to say. I'm
One item is not necessarily the best, right? A varied diet is always going to be best. Chicks,
I agree with that.
Rats, quail, give them whatever they'll eat.
And
I tend to stay away from poultry because I don't like cleaning up the mess after. But I've fed chicks.
Have you tried quail?
I have, yeah.
Quail's not that bad. Well, actually, I was really impressed on how my snakes shit out quail. Shout out to the sponsor, Blake Exotic Feeders. But I'm just saying, quail comes out pretty like prime. It's not bad. But what I was going to say is, no matter what the snake species, if it's fed a rat, that's always the higher, like fatty, like volume size meal to give a snake. And there's some snakes that do just fine. And we all know historically that ball pythons are solid on a solid rat diet. Like they can just eat rats and still live 30 plus years. And that's nothing to argue, right? But we're looking a little bit deeper as far as like what is actually better digestively for a snake. And I don't know. The only thing that always stands out for me is like the shit comparisons compared to rat shit and an ASF shit. Like when a snake is shitting it out, right? Just ASF shits are just night and day. I don't know what it is, but it's just if it's that smaller, cleaner looking, and less frequent, that has to mean it's kind of easier on the stomach, I would think. versus coming out a huge big fucking spot of shit sometimes. That's the only thing I've processed with ASFs versus rats.
I think it's just we feed our ball pythons too much in general.
Oh yeah.
I think that's a big part of it. And ASF is just a smaller meal overall. So yeah, I think they shouldn't be pooping like that.
Well, that's a good point.
They
And
eat too much.
one thing that I learned in ball pythons, not to blame anyone, but like I just felt like it's kind of like a noob thing to do, is you get robotic with your feeding. Like, okay, what is it? 7 days a week? I stick to that no matter what. And I always tend to do that for the most part. But do you guys feel like there's certain moments where a male adult or a female adult isn't fed weekly, or like what's, and I'm talking about one that's not breeding, right? Like I'm talking about maybe one that's at an adult age, maybe it's ready to breed that coming year. But at that point, when you have an adult, fully 3-year-old snake, is it still eating once a week on your guys' take, or is it eating less frequent? Because I mean, I need to know.
My collection gets fed anywhere between once a week to once every 3 weeks. It's variable for me. I don't do it every week. Depends on where females are on their cycle. Depends on if I'm growing up hatchlings. Like there's so many variables. There's not just one thing. Like sometimes I'll be like, I'm not going to feed this week. They need a break. Then they go 3 weeks without eating, and I feed them again. And I just feel like the inconsistency keeps them consistent. If that makes sense. I have very little snakes I don't want to eat.
Okay. And then what do you got to say on that, Will?
I think it's probably true. Like I've had good, I'll go through and feed. Oh, thanks, Justin. Cheers, man.
Yeah, thanks.
I'll go through and feed, the collection. Let's say I feed it this Friday, right? And then everything eats, and it depends. Did I offer them big meals? Did I push them a little bit?
Exactly.
It totally depends. If I'm feeding small meals, then I'll feed it again more frequently later. But if I give them big meals, then I'll give them 10 days, 14 days. And just that inconsistency, I think is great. I don't know if there's a necessarily a formula that has to be followed,
Exactly.
hatchlings, I feed fairly consistently. I'll go every 5 days.
Yeah.
I get them
That's
established,
a lot.
get them good. And then yeah.
Hatchlings and subadults, I like to get them to a certain, in a certain rhythm. I like to get size on them, like all of us do.
Right.
Every animal's different, right? There's females that are pigs and they want to eat all the time. I just watch behavior. I feed every Wednesday. This was my first year with an ultrasound, and I can tell you that some of the females that stopped eating earlier, their follicles grew faster than the ones that just kept eating. So, little things I noticed. I mean that could also be the differences in the females. But have you guys noticed that?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've noticed necessarily that. I've noticed stuff stall. Like I've definitely had snakes go to 25 mil and then for 3 months sit at that. And they stay on food for those 3 months, but they don't grow. And then the next time you ultrasound them, they're 42 millimeter. You're just oh shit, you're ready to ovulate. Yeah,
so I totally agree with Nicole. I think we do at times overfeed. And I mean, there's just girls that they know they need the fat reserves, right? But then there's some that they don't care if they have it. They're just going to eat. So going forward, I'm probably going to lower that a bit.
Yeah, it's a good topic because a lot of this could set people back big time eventually if they're not knowing how to feed a snake, especially after a snake has laid for you, right? One of my biggest things that I ran into after my first successful year of breeding is how to get a snake in shape to where you're not overly feeding her before her next breeding season, right? And that's a big step that people forget because, people just think in their head 7 days a week after she lays again, it's going back to normal in the feeding. But that's not the case. Everything has to be looked at as far as what's happening in that time of the year. I'm just saying it's a lot more than just fucking robotic feeding. And I feel like a lot of people like myself is just coming in here and just saying they stick to a schedule because it's easy. I mean, I know people still doing this since the 90s who stick to 7 days a week no matter what. But I'm thinking wow, that's just kind of just overkill for thinking about it, right? Go Go ahead.
It's easy for the keeper, right? And for like it's like you have a schedule. I get rid of my medium rats or my mediums and smalls. They fill up that week. They're gone. The next week they fill up again. So it's easy to get into a schedule like that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I talked to Mark Bailey quite a bit about like what's going on in the season, what's he doing, because he's one of those guys that like his season's like condensed. It all happens at once, and then it's over. And then I personally like that approach. It gives me a nice chill summer, and then I got a busy fall and winter. Summer, I just collect eggs and incubate them, and then enjoy the summer. And then wintertime comes, and there's fall, and the winter comes, and work starts. But his approach, I have to get the number correct. So next time you talk to him, MJ, ask him, or next time he's on the show or something, ask him that. But I think he mentioned in between clutches, he's aiming for 12 or 16 feedings for that animal in between clutches, and that's almost over a year. 16 meals over a year. So it's not like, you know, crazy amount of rodents. The female body condition and everything should tell you all you need to know. Like you need to get to a point where you walk into your room and open that bin. You don't need the ultrasound in your hand, and you just pick the female up and go like, yeah, she's in great shape. She's good to go. You know, that's where people should be striving to get to and understand that, you know, just by looking at them, you don't need to, you know, the ultrasound a lot of the times now is confirming what I'm already telling myself. You know, you open the bin, she's going to be about 20 millimeter, you know, the way she's been eating, the way she's been acting, and you ultrasound, oh, she's at 18. Okay, close enough.
And I hate to freaking admit that it is wise to have an ultrasound, because like it is, you know, you don't need it, but at times, yeah, it is good to know during frustration times like this that I'm about to say, right? Because let's say you have a female that laid for you one year, the next year she doesn't do anything, right? Then you don't know what the hell's going on, right? It's also
reset.
like,
then she's a blank slate from my experience, yeah.
But also when she's already big looking too, like, you know, you have snakes that look like they're about to go, but then nothing happens, right? There has to be a point in time where they chill on the eating, right? Because look how big they are. If you just keep it up at a week, every week, or just keep it on a normal feeding schedule after she's been preparing to lay, but nothing happens, I think that's when people go into like, you know, now your snake's fat, and now your snake's not going to do shit for you, or she's just going to slug out. You know what I mean? So I'm curious at how you guys look at a female that doesn't lay for you one year. Like, how are you feeding that female? Like, let's just say the time comes where, okay, she ovulated this time of year, ain't nothing happening, there's no locks. How do you feed that female then?
Well, now I would have the ultrasound, so I know that she wouldn't be building, so I would just feed her normally. You know what I mean? Like it's no different.
Yeah.
Like you can really tell when a female's gonna go, and by then they usually almost have stopped feeding anyway. So
I treat them normally and then let her tell me when it's time to eat. You pair them, like you know when you open the bin and they're like just right there, like let's go. That's food time. That's when they want the calories to produce their eggs. And you know, I think we really underestimated how much of a toll it takes on their body to produce some of these clutches. Like you get a girl that drops 10 eggs, you're like, how are you alive even? Like you like
seeing how the condition they are in after sometimes is just insane.
Yeah. I always, after they lay, go small meals. Like small meals for the first, like little, like just weans, man. Like just let them get something into their system and let them.
Then you hit them with that next one in like a week or 5 days, or when's that next one?
Again, quite variable. I've done it same day. And had them taking it, and I've done it a week later and had them taken. So, and I've also tried weekly and have them not take for 5 weeks or so. So it depends.
You got to know your animals too, and I think that's another plus to having more of a manageable collection, that you know every individual snake. So feeding isn't always like clockwork. It's just like, oh, you know the snakes, so you know what size to feed them. You know if you're gonna skip this week, or it's pretty much
you know when they're done, pretty much.
Yeah.
They tell you everything. Yeah, if you can start to learn their body language and learn the animal, then they'll tell you everything.
Yeah, it just comes with
that
time.
you need to know. Yeah.
One thing that isn't talked about, and I know because I talked to Mark Bailey about this, and he's the one that kind of told me he goes through this too, but they almost shut off food twice during breeding. And I didn't know that. I thought it was like, okay, they just eat, and then they shut off. But no, I've noticed from what I've experienced, they shut off, they get paired up, and then they get hungry again. Then you hit them again. You know what I mean? And then there's a second time of shutting off, and that's not really talked a lot about. Like I've not, you know, I remember
second shut off is generally they're done.
Like
and
they're
they're
done.
going to produce. Yeah.
Sometimes you'll even pair that first shut off just to get them to start eating again, right? And then they go to build, and
yeah, but
Very
but like
frustrating when they won't lock though.
yeah.
the biggest thing about people who've never had their first clutch is what they always think they've seen an ovulation when they didn't, right? They think their female's gravid when they never saw anything go down. So it's like, it's not, and it's just kind of, you know, obviously they want it bad, you know, I get it, right? But at the end of the day, like, don't get manipulated by these own behaviors, right? Like there's a lot of stages that if you stick to, and once you see, right, the beauty about getting your first ball python clutch, oh my God, the next one's like, you just know, like if you see it all go down, because there's no missing an ovulation, right? I mean, for like, if it's an ovulation and you're getting it prime time right there, you know it's a fucking ovulation. It's a goddamn football.
You haven't eaten in 4 weeks, and you look like you ate 3 minutes. Yeah.
And unless I saw it the day after, or like a few hours after, I've yet to see a tiny ovulation in ball pythons. Every ovulation I've seen has been fucking like, wow, that looks like it hurts. You know what I mean? So, and it's also a good feeling once you see it, because then you know, like, you know, that saying, when you know, that's the beauty about it, right? But yeah, you know, remember this question, Will, a long time ago when I had you on? I'm like, is it smart for someone to invest in ultrasound right off the bat? And I want to say it probably is. Because first and foremost, how's it a bad thing to even know how to use that? I think that's
okay. So I'm gonna counter that and say, no, it's not right off the bat.
Agreed. Yeah, I agree.
No, it's not
right off the bat.
I think you're talking about a $2,000 or $3,000 investment. Now, again, it totally depends on your threshold of what's expensive. But for most people, that's expensive.
I'm saying you're balling. It don't matter. I'm just kidding.
Well, then do whatever you want. Who cares? You know.
No, you're right.
For most people, I think you're much better off to put that money into your collection, and really, like, the ultrasound tells you. The only thing the ultrasound really does is lets you prioritize your male. It doesn't do anything for the female. It's the female's doing what she's doing, and then you can move that male around and hit those girls at the right time. Right. But for most new collections and most new guys, and girls, I really, really recommend not trying to push a male that far. Not trying, like, take a male and go to 5 females and just cycle him in once a week. Aim to get a lock on them once a week, or sorry, not once a week, once a month on each female. Try to get a lock once a month or once every 6 to 7 weeks, and run that through the course of the season, and just watch what they do and feed them and just observe it. And they're going to, if you are locking them once every 7-ish weeks, you're not going to miss you're not going to miss her window. You're not going to, it's going to be fine. And you've saved yourself $3,000, and you've put $3,000 into a really good female or a good male or a new rack for yourself or whatever, you know. Now, again, if you're doing 150 clutches, you're way up there, even 50, 60, 70 clutches, that starts to be like, okay, you're trying to push a male to multiple females, and that's when it starts to be helpful. But I'll tell you, I'm in, we're April 4th right now. I've taken the ultrasound out once, ultrasounded like 20 girls, and was like, whatever, just put it away. I don't care.
Well, I was going to say, one of the things the ultrasound will do for you is get you to like look at your female, know what the hell's happening, to the point where you don't even need an ultrasound anymore. Like, that's kind of what I'm realizing after talking to Mark Bailey about it and whatnot. What's up, E?
Yeah, and Nicole, add to this, please. I think getting an ultrasound early is a mistake too, because it doesn't force you to learn your animal's behaviors, right? But I'm fully with Will that money could be spent into the collection. It's better spent into the collection. But it also forces the keeper to learn the animals. Nicole, what do you say to that?
Yeah, I totally agree. Money aside, I think it's best to visually learn what the females are doing instead of always relying on that machinery, because I feel like if you're just ultrasounding, you're not going to learn how to palpate. You're not going to pay as much attention to how she's eating, what she's like, her glowing, her cool seeking, her heat seeking, her shed cycles. I just feel like it's really good to learn that first, learn how to palpate, and then get into the ultrasound just to confirm things and have that data. That's what I did anyway. Now I can still palpate, so I know how many eggs they're going to have, but at the same time I have the ultrasound, so I have an idea of where they're going to be and then how to use the male.
I mean, all really good points, because even if money's not an issue, why even do that? Like, why even fucking, because what's the biggest mistake we talked about noobs are making this year, Emilio, in the past years? Nobody is getting backup mails. They're all fucking dumping.
Yeah.
They're all dumping their checks in one mail, and they're like, I'm going to the top. And guess
guys,
what?
Guys,
Respiratory.
Guys, weren't we taught to be lean on mails? What a mistake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's a huge mistake.
I
That's the stupidest thing ever.
That's been the biggest problem that I have experienced over the last 15 years, for sure. Has been males that have shut down, males that are starting to lose weight, and I'm not going to just keep breeding them to the ground. So I'm going to pull them, and then you're sitting there like, okay, now what? I don't have another male. Like, now you're really scrambling, and now the ultrasound's super important. But just you have that backup male, and it makes life so easy.
I got a funny one for you guys. How about the males that don't like the opposite sex?
Yeah, well, that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into like a male not being the one you thought was going to go down. I mean, but it also goes like that with females too. Like, these things don't mean it's like automatic breeding. Like, there's a lot of things, like a lot of uphill battles you could deal with. Like, even a snake that, one of the biggest things that sucks, but like one that just stops eating, for whatever reason. It doesn't happen a lot, but you hear about it. Like, somebody's most prized possession breeder male just not eating, or it eats a mouse every now and again.
Oh, dude, I've had many times that happen. It's the most frustrating thing in the world.
Mhm.
Yeah, but how much of those are you really breeding and holding back though, Will? Like, do you deal with that a lot?
Not much. To be honest, as a general rule, snakes that give me headaches are snakes I've bought.
Right. Not your own stock.
My own production has always, especially stuff raised in house and grown up in house and used to your system. They generally are bulletproof. Like, they just do so well. But
and that's because if you know what the fuck you're doing as far as establishment when a ball python as a baby goes, you could make them little terrors where they'll eat all the fucking time, and I think that's kind of what comes to you feeding frequent meals, right? Like, they're not eating something too powerful, but they're eating enough to where they want to eat already another one, right? As far as that's
keep males lean. I try and feed males, periodically throughout the week. And I don't have any specific schedule, and I just kind of go into the room and grab 40 small ASFs, and then I come back out and I kind of go through and I open a bin, and if that male's like up at the front of the water bowl, like, okay, here's a wrap, If the male in the back is like sitting with his head tucked in, like, okay, leave him alone. Just kind of see who's hungry and just kind of feel the room.
That's another huge advantage of having your own rodents. Do that whenever the hell you want,
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, like, everyone has their preference of switching over, Nicole, as far as, like you mentioned you start your ball pythons on rats, straight rats, right? Do you still
Rat
do that?
pups. Yeah, like 25 gram rat pups.
That's
Right.
insane.
Yeah, it's what I've always done.
And it works. You don't have any, like, what do you figure your success ratio is that?
Like almost 100%. I only
that's
have
good.
like maybe one or two hatchlings that don't take it a year, and I offer an ASF hopper, and they always take it, and then after that is always a rat pup, and they're fine after. But yeah, maybe one or two hatchlings a year. That's it. They don't take it.
Yep. I remember
I didn't have good luck with it with rat pups.
Everyone says that, but I don't know why. I don't know.
Nicole, is there anything special that you're doing? Are you putting them in a bag together? Because in my experience, when I bred rats 10 years ago only, my success rate for a hatchling, taking a rat pink or, a rat fuzzy, I probably had 20% success rate.
Wow. No,
Yeah.
I use the ARS 10 series tubs with paper towel. So it's a pretty decent big size tub. I don't give them a hide or anything. I don't know. I just never had a problem with it, but not the first time I've heard most people say they have issues starting on rat. But
Yeah, I mean, if it's working, keep doing it, right?
Yeah,
Like,
It works for you,
Yeah.
I feel like it gives them a really, really good head start. Like, it's a nice fat rat pup, you know what I mean?
Now, what do you guys prefer substrate for your ball python, your baby ball pythons? Are they all like on cocoa chip, or some of you guys using paper? What's your
Paper for the hatchlings here.
Yeah, that's been.
Yeah, I start them on paper, and then once they hit a certain size that go into coconut, and then from that they go to their adult tubs. They be into cypress.
What about you, Biggie?
Yeah, I did aspen for 15 years, and I dropped aspen because of the dust. And this year I did paper, but I'm more than likely going to be doing coco. You know?
I mean, patches on paper is fucking a daily chore. It pisses me
Yeah,
off.
I was changing paper 3 times a week.
I just every day, man. Like it'll be fresh for probably 2 hours, and then I'm like, what is that? And
I
weird
no
shit. God.
The one for me that drives me nuts, especially if they're on paper, is they get to a certain point where they can flip the water bowl.
Yeah.
Like they dump the water bowl on paper. You better catch that soon, or it can get really gross.
Yeah,
and,
sure. Yeah.
But once they get to that size, off of paper and onto at least a substrate that can absorb the water.
Yeah.
I keep all my for sale stuff on paper till it sells, pretty much.
Yeah. All it takes is one nasty shit. That water dish spills, and then all that newspaper disintegrates into little pieces, and it's a big shit soup in that little tiny bin. And like I'm talking overnight, it happens like that. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. This is my first year with coco, and I was really worried about dye. Right? I was told that white snakes will, they'll turn red or whatever. But I don't know what those people were doing, because if you're on top of your animals and the substrate's not super wet, I had bells that none of them changed color on me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I was just on top of it.
Yeah, I don't think
they have to be on it for like a while for them to be discolored. Like
yeah,
that.
So I just don't get that.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
That was my worry, but none. No paper. No more.
But here's my problem with going to coco chip with hatchlings. Like, you think you spot clean something, but no, actually you didn't. It's all underneath that fucking coco chip. Like I feel like there are so wet and nasty shits that these hatchlings do, where you're gonna throw that whole coco chip out anyways, and it's kind of like almost a waste.
So I don't like using new substrates for hatchlings because of that. They go too often.
I'm telling you right now, it's and a lot of it's loose stool. Like, it's like nasty little fucking baby shits, and that shit reeks too. Like, that's why you can get away spot cleaning with certain snakes for sure, but then there's other snakes, like, that's why I always, with the retic world, I don't know how people keep retics on substrate, because they shit, they don't piss, but when they shit, a gallon of piss comes with that shit, and it just flows everywhere. So I'm like, you're gonna literally now that 8-foot enclosure, you're gonna replace all that coco chip, or are you gonna just spot clean the solid stuff and the rest is just gonna sit there like soup and just get stuck to the cage?
Absorbed, yeah.
That's the way I look at it.
And it keeps going.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking, like, how is this spot cleaning when you're not changing it out? Like,
I've been putting I over the last couple of years, actually, I've been putting my whole back hatchlings right, like, as soon as they're established, right into a 40 series tub. So they'll have like 120 gram snake in a 40 series tub. And
how big is a 40 series tub? That's before the.
It's like the big Freedom, like an adult tub, not the one behind Nicole, the shorter one and long.
Right. Okay.
It's the Freedom Breeder 40 series, the FB40.
And there's be the same, but in the 55 series, so even a little bit bigger. I'll put my holdbacks right in their adult bin.
You guys.
Right into an adult bin at like 120, 130 grams, something like that.
Yep.
And they do totally fine.
Okay. Nothing.
Honestly, I think that I've heard Justin say it before, that they get into a routine, and they're like a very like habitual feeder, and then if you break that kind of routine or something, you throw them off some way, that's when you run into those like snakes that stop eating. And I think what people have issues with, you hear this all the time, they grow them up, they move them to the adult tub, they stop eating, and they're like, whoa, what the heck? And they have to keep moving this not giant, but a bigger snake back into a small tub just to get it to eat. And the snake's crammed in that thing. It's like you can't even move. I don't know. I don't like, everybody's had that happen, but I don't like it. And I've just been putting them right into a 40 series tub and growing them up. And I've grown stuff now from 120 grams to 2,500 grams, and they've always been in that tub.
Yep.
Had no problems with feeding. I've had nothing going off of food. Like, it's been very smooth sailing, honestly.
But there's a whole idea with keeping them in a smaller tub is what makes them grow faster, right?
No.
That's what they say. I mean, Miguel said that. Do you remember the vlog he put out? That
I will say I love Miguel, but he's wrong there.
Yeah.
But
They're not going to grow faster in a smaller tub.
Yeah.
They're going to grow fast. Their growth is going to be the equivalent of the amount of calories they can take in.
Mhm.
And that's, just
And the snake's approach and character, right?
for
Right.
sure. For
It's
sure.
gonna eat. It's gonna eat no matter what the
Yeah.
Obviously,
There's I mean, do you have snakes that won't deal well with that big tub?
I
that's
have not run into any.
No.
Yeah.
Not from like
None.
hatchling hold back into that tub. No, never.
No.
But one thing I have heard though is like you have a female that's not eating for some reason. Putting it in a smaller tub sometimes gets it to eat. True or false?
I think just the overall change sometimes.
Yeah, just swap her into a new bin, put her in a new spot on the rack,
Yeah.
put her down on the floor.
So that's
put her
something.
high.
That's something you guys all done before. Like you have a female not eating, you swap her into a smaller or different environment in the rack, and then boom, it switches it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works for males too. Just a snake in general not eating. After a while, it's one of the first things I'll try. Besides, obviously, offering the food.
Now, I mean,
me-
No hides, by the way, Rectifier. No hides.
Yeah,
just-
I don't
Yeah,
use
no hides.
zero
I
hides.
don't use any hides unless I have to.
yeah.
But the whole idea, though, obviously with success on a breeder male is him not going off food, right? Because if he goes off food and you still breed him, you're really playing with fire right there, right? Because now I think that's where you're really risking the fact of that snake getting sick somehow or not having enough in them to go the distance. Or do you guys have no worry about a snake turning off food and you still breed them?
Depends on the snake. I'd say most of my males go off feed at some point when they're breeding. I think it's pretty normal. That's why you want to get them to good condition before you start.
What's the longest your male's been off food and you've kept him breeding for, Nicole?
Maybe 8 months.
Oh, damn.
It depends on the male size too.
Yeah,
If you have 1,200 gram male, let's say, right, which most of mine are not. Most of mine are 700 to 800 grams. But I want to get my males to 1,000, so I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about those things, right?
Yeah.
If a male is nice, well conditioned, strong, I'm not worried about him.
You can last a long time. Like mine, that went 8 months. Was like a 1,500 gram male. He was perfectly fine. He had no problem.
Yeah.
Went back on food. He was fine.
How many of you guys are really getting your males to 900 to 1,000 grams within the first year?
Almost always.
No.
What the fuck?
Well, when I say
Hold on,
first,
I gotta hear this. Go ahead, Will. Tell me.
when I say first year, within 12 months.
Yes, I'm talking 12 months, bro. 12 months. On 900 to 1,000 gram within 12 months.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah. But I very, very, very seldomly breed a male that's 7 months old. My whole philosophy has been hatch them, forget about them, use them the following season.
Yeah.
Not
I agree with
like if
that.
I hatch a male this year, they're not breeding. Like a 2023 male is not being bred this year.
Yeah, agreed. It's for next
Next
year.
season, this coming fall, he'll be bred,
Yeah.
and he'll be. Well, they hatch in August, September for me most of the time, and I don't really have a breeding season until March or April. So that male, by the time I'm breeding him, is actually closer to 18 months.
Yeah, for me,
For
my
sure,
males,
1,000 grams by that. As long as it's a good eating male and everything's good, I would say 1,000 grams for sure.
my males typically at a year old, they're about 650 to 750. I'm going to start using the smaller meal method here and there, but yeah, rarely I'll have a male that's amazing at 1,000 grams in a year. He's just like voracious.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, how big are your 23 males right now? Like mine are maybe 600 grams right now.
I mean, early hatched ones, I would say like that. My later hatch stuff, 300, 350. But I find that they, on softers specifically, the rats, I saw rapid growth to a specific point and then it flattened out. But ASFs, it feels like they take a little bit longer to get to that like 200-300 gram range. Once they hit it, they go from 300 grams to 900 grams in like 6 months. It's insane.
Nice.
They just pack on weight.
Dude,
and growth. They just keep growing and growing. But yeah, I would say most of my 2023 males In between that, like 400, 350 to 600 gram range, that type of range.
Okay.
So if we're talking a 600 gram snake already, and I'm not going to breed him until this time next year, then yeah, he should easily be 1,000. I need to put 400 grams on him in a year.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna weigh all my male holdbacks from last year and see where I'm at. And I just know I'm not anywhere near 900. I think I'm like 600.
Not 900. No. And
We're
when you
almost
say
up at a
from
year,
last
though.
year,
If you think about
what are
it.
you talking
I'm already at a year. I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's already April.
Yeah, I'm already April, bro. We're there.
Yeah, so it's going to be a year this summer.
No,
since
but
they're hatched, and they're only like 350 grams to 600 grams. You know.
I think. Yeah, I got my first clutch last year in like I think April. About this year. So,
There's the discrepancy.
Time goes fast, man.
There's the discrepancy. I run late. The majority of my season hatches October, November. That's why. If you're a May hatchling, yeah, of course you should be.
I'm like July, August, June.
July, yeah, okay.
That's
I'm
usually where my stuff hatches.
Yeah.
so isn't it crazy how people have different times of the year that they prefer and that works for them? Another thing people need to stop doing is copying other people on when they pair and when they do their thing, because you got to look at where you live. Like the West Coast is a whole nother timeline than even the Midwest and then the East Coast, I feel like, you know?
Yeah.
And also too, like, are you trying to be seasonal? Like, do you want all your shit to go down at one point of the year? Or do you want it to go all year round? You know, that's another thing that you need to look at things. I'm starting to realize that I kind of wish I would had mine more strategically seasoned, but because I'm in Southern California, like I have stuff that if it laid in April one year, the next year it's in May, or everything just keeps getting pushed. It's weird, but nothing ball python wise ever stays the same from the year before. And I don't know if that's just the season over here in San Diego and how I do things, but it's very that's another thing that always threw me off. It's how all my females kept going later from the time before.
Guys, would you say that has to do with the weather pattern, El Nino and stuff like that when things change?
Something.
The weather patterns?
I mean, maybe, but Nicole is 5 hours from me. We should have relatively similar weather, and we have very different seasons. Well, I wouldn't say that different. You're a couple months earlier. I go a bit later. But you're hatching in July, August. I'm getting eggs July, August. So I'm a full 2 months behind you.
That's weird.
And
it is colder up there, though.
Every single March, man, it's clockwork. I ultrasound. I get I'm ready to jump off a bridge because nothing's going. And it's just that they're not building yet, you know? And then I'll ultrasound end of April, beginning of May. And there we go. Okay, we're good.
That's Southern California for you. That's like that. So like that's kind of how it works here. Even later, like I remember my first year, I didn't get my first clutch till July, right? And then the year after that, when I had more than 10 clutches, everything happened from July to December. And I also looked at Miguel, and his stuff was exactly the same. Like everything.
Oh, dude, we were talking last year. He was calling me, freaking out. Dude, I'm gonna have nothing this year. Nothing.
Yeah,
dude, you will. Like, there's no way your whole collection is gonna take us a year off. It's just not gonna happen. No, it's not happening. It sucks. And I was like, bro, chill. Like, just trust me, it's gonna happen. And he just went late, but now look at this. Like, he's hatching shit now. Like that's 2023s that he's hatching. He just is later.
So, I mean, to go back to my point about an ultrasound, I mean, can't this keep you from using a male when it's pointless?
Yeah, it can. But again, that goes down to knowing your collection. I know. I'm
sorry, Will. I'm talking first-time females. That's kind of hard to figure out sometimes. Like when you have a female that's never laid and you raised her for 3 years and you're trying to figure out what the fuck, like that's weird. Like so-and-so's having clutches. So-and-so's having clutches. I've had these paired up for 4 months. Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
don't worry about so-and-so.
I know, but when you're new, bro, you don't. I'm sorry, but you don't get like you are thinking about everything else around you besides yourself when you're new. That's because you're excited. It is what it is, right? But
I watch Ozzy. You know, his clutches are early. He's always like now hatching stuff or getting eggs, and I'm like, what the fuck am I doing wrong? And I'm not doing anything wrong. My girls just cycle later in the year. That's it.
Yeah. I mean, because, you know, dude, you have males that are strong at certain moments, right? And, like, you know, let's think about a male you're pairing up when there ain't nothing happening to that female. And guess what? He's laying pipe. Then all of a sudden, when she looks big and looks like you should be pairing her up, you just don't want it no more. I've seen that happen. I've seen males like seasonally breed in a sense where they're only about that time at a certain time of year or whatever, and then at another time it's nothing's happening. You know what I mean?
What I could say is that every single year I start getting eggs in May, mid-May, early May, all the way to September. It's spread out like that.
Okay. Now,
I mean, in July I get a ton of eggs.
how many clutches are you doing? Like, what's your percentage? Like, I would say I'm similar to that, but it'll be like May I'll get like 3 clutches, and then June I'll get 8 clutches.
Yeah,
and then
it starts
July
to
and August I'll get 72 clutches.
Yes.
And then it tapers back down.
Yeah, July and August are when it's all going down, and then the early months, and that's September. You get your last 3 or 4. That's how my game goes pretty much.
Are you the same, Nicole?
How about you, Nicole?
Like that too? You get like some early ones coming, and then like a huge boom, and then it slows down.
Yeah, but it's a little more crazy than that. Like if I have 30 clutches in a year, I'll have like 15 in July, 13 in August, and 2 in September or something like that. It's just I get like
it sounds about the same.
Yeah.
Damn. Now, I mean, one of the things we were talking about previous, I don't even remember the episode, but I mean, dude, we're talking about genetics that people have invested heavily in at this point, now having rumors of them being weak genes. And I kind of want to address some of these rumors and see if you guys heard of anything. Like I know confusion has been something I've heard about, like not being a strong gene as an adult. I don't know if any of you guys heard of any of that yet, or raising has been different.
I've heard it.
What have you guys heard? Let's kind of get to that real quick.
Slow starts. That's what I've heard.
Say that again, Emilio.
Slow starts.
I mean, this is all like, Will, do you remember back in the day where pieds apparently didn't eat?
Yeah.
Remember that rumor?
Yeah.
I feel it's the same. It's probably just the same thing. I've heard the rumor that confusions don't eat and acids do. I don't know. I just feel like every snake's an individual. I don't think there's really any.
Oh, for sure.
For sure. Like that. I mean,
I've had confusions that I have not gone that well. I would say I heard from enough people that they were like slow goers. They didn't grow that quickly, yada, yada, yada. But again, like there's so much more to genetics than a gene. Not necessarily that it's a bad gene. Like if you mix that confusion in with a giant snake that grew really quickly, there's you can take those genetics. Now, genetics doesn't have to be color and pattern. It can be appetite, it can be aggression, it can be all sorts of things. Yeah. And you can start to pull that stuff over. And I mean, we're obviously seeing, so from my perspective, people say, well, confusions don't eat, confusions don't eat, confusions don't eat. Well, then how the hell is that confusion on eggs?
Yeah.
Because if they didn't eat, they wouldn't grow. They'd be dead.
Right.
So they're obviously eating. And how is, Justin's creating these confusion puzzle combos that are look incredible. They're, he hatches them. I don't know when he hatches them, but let's say it's in September and he shows them in October and they're 240 grams. That snake's eating. So I think that a lot of it is just so situational that, I have puzzles as a general rule eat like crazy. I have some puzzles that are not the best eaters. It's every snake's an individual and you just get to know them and roll with it.
And then the aggression level. Everyone says puzzles are crazy. My puzzles are pretty cool.
I got a few that are scumbags, man. They'll take a shot at you, yeah.
Yeah, but like, okay, like you're gonna bitch about an aggressive ball python. You shouldn't be fucking even keeping a ball python.
No, no.
Like,
but
what's your problem?
Puzzles,
like,
they're exciting though that way.
They were crazy. So.
Dude, I got nailed last week. Like, I was such an idiot. I had a rat on the tongs, and the bin was above my head, and I was like dangling it, and I was like waiting for her to grab it, and didn't grab it. And I was like, so I put the rat back down, and then put my hand over and grabbed it, and just bang, right? She wrapped around my hand. I pulled back, she hit the rat behind me, fell on the floor. I was like, what the fuck? Blood, teeth all through my thumb. I was like, God, I haven't been bit like that in a while. It got me going though. It was exciting.
I'm pretty sure it was Matt Byron I was making fun of one time because he was like talking about like, the jerk reaction when you open up a tub and like the fucking snake's right there. And I'm like, I'm like, bro, it's a ball python. Like, what are you scared of? And I shit you not the other day, bro. I was trying to do bins. And you know how you have like that eye level rack level that you're pulling? Well, of course, like I'm not paying attention and I pull it out and it's like it's essed up like right in front of my face, bro. And then I'm like, this thing's gonna bite me, and it snaps. So I literally throw the bin, and fucking water goes everywhere. I'm so pissed. I'm like, God fucking damn it. And so I was like, damn, you just
you made fun of me too. Remember that time I got bit on my wrist pretty bad?
Oh, you wanted a hook for one of my ball pythons.
No, listen, no, I don't do that shit. Stop.
Oh, sorry.
But I got bit real bad, right? And bro, I screamed so loud that she let go. It was a feeding response. And bro, I had 2 teeth in me, right? I sent this guy a picture and he's making fun of me. Guess what? 5 days later, I have a fucking bruise on my hand.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, again, it's a ball python. Okay.
No,
God
they can fuck, dude. They can still, they can still make you bleed. You
my
know what I
hand
mean?
was bruised, and it took a little bit to heal. Okay.
My wife now, when we were, she was in the room with us, and I have like just a pastel, honestly, but she's like 5,000 grams, like always. She's huge. She's 20 years old, type of thing. And I had the bin slid open, and she had her head just like kind of hanging there. And there was a bin of rats on the other side of her tub, and I had the tongs in my hand. So I was like, "Hey, babe, can you like pass me that bin of rats?" And I thought in my head she would slide it with her foot, and I would grab the rat and offer. So she's like, "Sure," and bent down. And as she bent down, I'm so glad it didn't hit her square in the side of the face, but it went straight over her back and grabbed on right here. And she's in like a crop top or whatever, and like grabbed her. And she like, the snake came out with her. And I was like, there goes all my fucking help. Like, no. She ran out of the room. She had a big bruise, like all right here. Like, I was like,
oh, dude, that's
like for your first snake bite, like you took a good bite. A good bite, yeah.
She ain't forgetting that one.
Yeah, but I got her like a couple months later holding her again. So we were good. So, yeah.
Good.
It's crazy how fucking things could go really bad when feeding sometimes. And you know, and I mind you, like just having a simple rat hit the floor and then it goes behind the rack, and now you're sitting there like a fucking asshole going back and forth. And this is why I do miss my false water cobras, because when I would have that shit happen, I would just simply get one, put it on the floor, you're here, and it's gone, and then I'd pull it out. But man, like because you know, I don't know, man, we're all in a rush. I feel like sometimes we work in a rush. I try not to, but I feel like, you know, whenever I feed, it's after a podcast, it's late at night, and I want to hurry up. I want to get the fuck done so I can go enjoy my sleep, right? But that's always when it happens, man. Like, you know, because if that rat does hit the ground, you ain't going anywhere until you find that rat. Like, I personally, like, with everything valuable in here, and I've learned from my mistakes what you do when you leave a rat loose in your room. You will regret it to the fullest extent, because they fuck shit up. And it's just dirty. It's just nasty. It's not a good time, man.
One benefit to the softers is if they hit the floor, they freeze.
Dude, yes.
They like stop.
I love that.
The rats that hit the floor, they're like under the rat.
They're super dumb.
Bro, they sit there. They go, hey, pick me up again.
Yeah. Hey, when we're done with this topic, I have a couple questions for Nicole.
Well, I guess we're done. Go ahead, Emilio.
All right. So when I heard your episode, I heard you mention BP.net, so I have a question about that and about Canada.
Yeah.
I was a moderator on there back in the day, so I have love for that time. I learned a lot. How did it influence you? What was your biggest influence back then? And what sticks out from that time the most for you?
Oh, those are the good old days when there was forums. I really miss the forum aspect of the hobby. Social media is great and all, but I would spend hours and hours on BP.net, even BLBC a little bit later. But BP.net was like the first for me, right when I was just starting. There's a lot of information on there that just really helped me a lot when I was first starting. I was able to ask questions, you know, and unlike Facebook or anything right now, that stuff's like archived. You can go in there and see posts from years ago, and I thought that was really good, and I really wish we still had that. Biggest inspiration, just starting from what little we had then, and just being excited about things like bumblebees and things like that, and had no idea it was going to get to this point. That's for sure.
That was another question I had. I still remember the first time I saw Dave Green's Monsoon.
Yes, I remember that day too.
On BP.net.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw Justin hit his dreamsicle.
Yes.
Yeah.
The pumpkin pies, man. That was
yeah.
way back. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
We need to bring that back.
Those were amazing times. I'm gonna ask both of you, because this was a question for both of you. Did you guys? Because I'll tell you guys, I did not. Okay. Did you guys ever see this market and this industry, what we love, being so big?
No.
Not like this. Not like this.
I always knew like the combo was that like, you know, every combo is achievable. Well,
right.
Except for like obviously the Helix stuff that you would have thought would have worked, but every combo is achievable. So I always knew like there's always, you know, something to chase. But to the level it's at now, like no, like not even close.
It's crazy. Like even back then, like 10 years ago, there was still enough morphs around to always be chasing something, right?
Yeah.
There's years and years worth of work even 10 years ago. But what we have now, there's more than a lifetime of work, and we never even achieved just a fraction of what there is. It's really, really cool.
That's why it's sort of sad, but it's not seeing people leave at this point. Like, especially people who've been in the game for a minute and for whatever reason, whatever freaked them out. That's cool, I guess. But like, holy shit, we haven't even like really seen what we're about to like it's going to be a whole new world with this shit that we're about to be seeing here soon.
I can't imagine what like 10 years from now is going to be like.
But
and you get to relive it.
It's not necessarily for everyone, because for this to work, you got to live, breathe, and like this is your life, you know. And some people that's not their life. You know, they don't want to spend 2 days in the rat room and then 3 days cleaning babies, and then you know, there's a lot more to it than just you see on Instagram. You see the fancy snakes and the building and racks and like, oh, this looks great, but everyone's an overnight success after 15 years, right?
And I that's probably the best thing about every adjustment in a market is it kind of shows the ones who are willing to stick it out and the ones who aren't. And tough times obviously is something that could really change someone's decisions in life. But you know, if you really want something that bad, like for me, like I'm sorry, I've always said this. I said this years ago, but you ain't never fucking keeping me out of the reptile game. Like it's just this is my air. I breathe it.
Sure.
Like, I love it. Like I've already been in positions where I hated my job working 14 hours and I would still go home and take care of all my rats and all my snakes for like 3-4 hours and wake up, do it all over again and be happy, because this is what this does for me. But like Will says, it's just not the same for everybody else.
A lot of people
really
just
passionate.
Sadly.
Say it again, E?
A lot of people just see money.
Yeah.
Dude, and that's the problem. Like, and like, listen, I am very transparent about my ball pythons is my fucking money game. Like, that's how I'm able to pursue other projects. It is all about money, but it's about money that has standed from projects I really have been passionate and standing on. Like, I'm going in my 7th year. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about money when I first got into this at all, period. But now when it comes to me looking at projects, of course it's about fucking money. I'm not stupid. As far as what I'm investing in, I want to work with something that isn't going to be worked with that will make me relevant money in the ball python game, which is hard to do nowadays. Like, you can't, if you're selling a $2,000-$3,000 ball python in 2024, kudos, you're doing it right. Like, good job. But it's just not a frequent thing right now with most people. Let's be real.
Yeah, but you also did your time, brother.
I did my time, right?
Yeah, you did your time. You put your work in. You made your brand. I mean,
right?
You're here.
Yeah, you know? I'm having a good time. I love it, and I love money too. I love money.
Yeah. Obviously, the ball python side of things, like there definitely has to the economics have to make sense, right? No one's going to keep. I'm not going to have a huge building full of ball pythons and not make any money from it. I would if there was $0 in this all of a sudden like that, I would still keep ball pythons just because that creativity aspect, and I get to play with. Okay, I can make this one look like this. You know, like that's that shit that keeps the wheels spinning. Yeah. But I will say, and Nicole, I know you're the same. You know, I just like reptiles, man. It's not just ball pythons. Like I like lizards. I like other snakes. And as of recently, you know, I've been like got some tree monitors. I got a couple of nibbles, you know, like it's like I'm having fun. And I know
don't downplay it. Don't downplay it, Will. This guy is like so obsessed right now over tree monitors.
I do. I love him, bro.
He's been strategically doing his research, taking his time. And bro, this is keeping shit after I don't know how many years we've been geeking out back and forth about tree monitors. You telling me how you want to jump into it, but you never did. Like you waited for the exact moment, bro. You built those enclosures. Like you're a great example on what you should do when it comes to taking one passion to the next project, bro. Like that's, I'm telling you right now, and it shows. So I just don't underplay it, man. You're doing it right.
Yeah, that's a species I'm very reluctant to be like, oh yeah, because it's easy to do, right? It's easy to be like, oh, I'll get that pair, I'll get that pair, I'll get that pair. Then you think like 3 years later, it's like, yo, these aren't any big cages. Like, where am I going to put all this stuff? Like, you know, like just pump the brakes a little bit. But yeah, I love them.
It's dangerous being buddies with Brandon Van Asten.
I know.
Shout out to Brandon. And Nicole, since we're on that subject of different species, is there anything else besides ball pythons you're working with? Remind me.
Yeah, I have a green tree python.
Oh, I forgot.
No plans on pairing her. I don't have a male. I have a pair of Bredli that I'll be pairing later this winter.
Say that again. The pair what?
Bredli carpets.
Oh, Brettles.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, man.
Female's like 12 years old, so it's about time I pair her. I have a yellowtail Prebo. I have a female I'm actually picking up in a couple weeks, and I have a male at home now.
Nice.
I have a Walnut python.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean yellowtails. Those are
cool animals, man.
Yeah,
that's intense.
That's a novice snake for sure. That's no joke.
Yeah. They get big.
Oh, look how young! It's a baby. Not baby, but a
it's about a year-old.
Nice, dude.
Where's that falsie?
You got a false water?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the falsie. She's upstairs. Yeah, she's in the living room.
That thing is badass looking.
Yeah.
Where'd you get that one from?
This one's actually just from a breeder in Toronto, and the females I actually got her coming in from Spain. So I have a new bloodline coming in.
So long-term wise, like if it's able to like line up with your just with your life, are you looking to work with more species at some point and kind of have more of a foundation built with other stuff other than ball pythons?
Yeah, I've always been just a snake person in general, but genetics have always been pretty high up. So naturally, I went to ball pythons.
Did you see?
But yeah, Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I really love colubrids and pythons. So I'll definitely be between those two. I'll have plenty.
Dang. Go ahead, Amelia. You're gonna say something.
Are those as messy as people say?
Yeah, colubrids are hella messy.
Well, I mean,
yeah, but they're not bad. I mean, I have a falsie that's 12 this year as well. So if I can handle that, like these guys are nothing. It's just more frequent, a little bit smelly, a little bit waterier.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard that it's real smelly. You got to clean a lot more. I'm considering them. I ain't gonna lie.
But I mean, the reward for keeping that, like, that's as close to a cobra as you get without.
Yeah,
man. It is like it's.
Yeah,
the scale structure on the head, like everything, just the brow. They look like they're just so intense. They're so sick.
Yeah.
They will legit chase you around the room. Like if you had a good, I have videos, man. I got old videos of my false water cobras like chasing me around my room, me feeding them, and dude, they were the best. I'm telling you right now, like any loose rat, like if I knew where it was at, that thing's fucking gone once I put my false water cobra on the ground. Yeah. Like it just had a nose or where was it, wherever anything was at. But
and fast.
But like they were the messiest, dirtiest, smelliest fucking things I ever worked with.
They're not that bad. They're not that bad.
Wait, are yours adult? Is yours an adult yet?
My falsie, yeah, I've had it for 12 years. Dude, she's massive.
And she doesn't shit all the time, like at least
she
3 times a week.
All the time.
Yeah, that's come on, Nicole. Dude.
Yeah, but it's not that bad. It's not that bad. Like the second I clean her cage after she shat, she'll shit again just to spite me.
I keep over 200 reptiles. I don't want something that shit 3 times a week. There's no way. I just can't keep up. And it was just like the colubrids were a lot of work. They were just a lot of work.
Don't they shit? Don't the lace monitors?
Oh, dude, don't go there. Please don't go there with me right now. Yeah, that's disgusting.
Hey, he loves lace monitors. So.
No, you want to talk about one thing that embarrasses my room is just when the lace monitors take a fresh shit. Because I do one time the solar guy, oh my god, bless his heart, man. the solar guy came one time and like quoted us, and he's like, "Hey, you say you work with reptiles? Can I go in your room?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, let's go in there." And mind you, it was like my room is a lot of it's ambient, but if like there's a time and place where it gets stuffy in here, and I have to turn the AC on, right? And of course, it was like I was out doing errands. I met the solar guy, and I forgot about my room in a sense. And so I'm like, "Hey, let's go check out the room." My room's like 90 degrees, okay, with a fresh lace monitor wet shit. And I'm talking about aroma that hit this guy in the fucking forehead. He took one step down and went the other way and came back.
That's embarrassing.
I was like, "No, wait." I was like, "Let me air it out, bro." I was like, "Dude, there's a fresh shit in here. That's all it is." And yeah, I eventually got him to go in there. But that was embarrassing, dude. Like, it sucked. Like, it was kind of like, I was like, I swear to God, it's not like this all the time. Like,
but you deal with it because it's worth keeping them.
Yeah, lace monitor. Yeah, it's a lace monitor.
Right? Same thing with the Dremarcon, I think, and those big colubrids.
Really, yeah.
Dude, my lace monitor shit on the ceiling. I don't know how they shit on the ceiling. It's ridiculous. And yeah, it's crazy. I'm bitching about colubrids when my lace monitors are the worst for sure. But if you love it, you love it. You don't give a shit.
That's it.
It's really not that bad. But Amelia, we're gonna say something?
Yeah, for me, I worked ball pythons for 95% of my time in the reptile game. I was super focused on them. I got into hogs 10 years ago. I sold them, got into them again now 2 years ago. This year. And then a couple years ago, I got into the Mexican Black Kings. Now I finally got my Angolans. I've been wanting them forever.
Sick.
Yeah, I love Angolans.
Yeah.
I love them.
I think those right there, man, they never got a push. And I feel like that's where
you know what it is? So far, what I've noticed is that people don't have patience for them.
They grow real slow.
They grow slow. They need maturity. You can't feed them like a ball python.
No.
I mean,
Most stuff I think is that way, actually.
Yeah, ball pythons are like
they're the anomaly. Yeah.
You don't do anything like a ball python, and I'm letting everyone know that from experience. Do not do what you do with your ball python with your colubrid or a different species. Like, please just look into all the husbandry on that snake and do not mimic anything with ball pythons.
Yes.
Ball python is a terrible example. Like, I'm telling you right now, the way they heat, having 90-degree hotspots 24/7, that's stupid. Okay, I mean, especially if you have good ambient heating, you don't need all that all the time. I just feel like it's unnecessary.
And then the wife has some cresteds, but I will tell you guys this: I am looking at the tree monitors, and maybe this winter I might buy a big cage. Might start something outside down here in Miami. I'm looking at it. I love the tree monitors. I love them.
Dude, I got a pair of yellows probably 4 months ago, and the male we think it's a male. Every single day, every time I offer them food, I put my hand right at his branch, and he doesn't run away. He just sniffs my hand, then I put a bug on my hand or egg or whatever, and he hesitate, and then and had never jumped onto my hand, and then just like last week, I had my hand out and I put egg there, and he wasn't doing it, and as I moved the egg away, he was like, "Oh no," and tore and jumped onto my hand, and I dropped the egg and it fell into his water bowl, and he hung off of my hand, and I just held him, and he reached underwater and grabbed the egg and then hopped back up on it. I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" I was like, "I need a video of that. That was so cool." And since then, I've been like, it's the polar opposite of keeping a ball python. I love ball pythons. I'll always work with them for sure. But the tree monitors, they're just something else. You see the wheels spinning, right? You can just see them kind of look at you and thinking. You're like, this thing's impressive. I really like them.
Yeah, but also that's one thing too. And I'm only saying this because it happened to me. It was like the week of Thanksgiving. Like, I got my yellow tree monitor from Brian Tucson. These things are little, man. You think you see adults, but you don't realize how small these fucking things are out of the egg. And even after a few months afterwards, they're small. And sure enough, man, I remember it's Thanksgiving Day morning, and my little yellow guy, just normal day spraying, just decided to go phew, and just jolt out of the cage. And bro, I you see 3 cages running back and forth, and you're just like, "Oh my God, no!" And then you see all these small cracks that it could possibly get into.
Oh yeah,
it is the most nerve-wracking thing having a loose baby tree monitor. And they're quick. Oh, they're so fast, man. Like, you gotta be on your shit. and you definitely got to escape proof your room when you get these tree monitors, because all it takes is one little crack and that thing could be gone. You'll never see it ever again, bro.
The building that we just built, actually, we did the foundation comes up above the floor. So there's like a 2-foot concrete wall, and then your drywall starts. So anything that hits the ground, like that was the idea, was like rats, anything hits the ground, there's nowhere for it to go. Now, still underneath racks, underneath heat tape, like there's still lots of spots it can get. But yeah, they are quick, real quick.
And a mistake can happen that quick. You know, we're talking something that's not cheap to invest in, and one tiny little slip up could really mean that thing is gone and you'll never see it again. And so that's why it's just like, you know, that's why I commend you on doing it the way you should have done it. Like, you built something that it's, you know, approved by Brandon. Everyone that you have mentoring you is telling you you're good to go. You know what I mean? Because if you jump into this shit, you're going to learn really quick how this is something not to jump into, you know?
Yeah. I had it. I opened the door and it climbed up. Like, I had the walls with cork on them.
Yeah.
And it climbed up the wall and had its head like over the edge of the door. And I was like, no. I was going to just go out and just like, I was like, no. And I put my hand up there and it like kind of looked and like backed in. And I was like, okay, shut the door. Stay. Don't escape.
By the way, my only struggle is something that Nicole said earlier. I'm a snake guy, man.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah.
I feel that.
That's the only struggle I have. I'm a freaking snake person, bro.
I'm a reptile person. To be honest, I'm more of a lizard than I am a snake person.
Yeah.
I hate to admit it because I love my chondros. I love my emeralds. I mean, I love snakes. Snakes is what started on, but once you cross over to monitors, there's just no going back, man. I'm sorry. It's just like when you have something that actually looks at you back and actually like gives you fucking some sort of like, hey, I notice you, you know. Snakes don't give two shits.
Although I would say I think the Cribos are a monitor.
Yeah, I feel that with
body, man. They're pretty smart.
Yeah,
they're very smart. Even the falsie too. You didn't get that with the falsies?
Not compared to monitor, man. Like, I mean,
fair
I'm
enough.
telling you. I mean, you got to keep it to know. I'm not trying to be Mr. Like, well, I keep it so I know. I'm telling you right now, I've kept false water cobras. I've kept retics. You want to talk about a snake? You want to talk about an impressive snake? A reticulated python, bro. Like those fucking things know a lot what's happening, or even a scrub python.
The shit out of me, man.
Dude,
I'm not a big constrictor guy.
If you ever get a chance to hold an adult scrub python, that is an impressive fucking snake right there, bro.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That snake right there, you get chills when you hold it because it looks you dead in the fucking face and it's not scared of anything. Just like a Cribo, like, you know, like these are just really bold, not giving a fuck about you type of snakes. Like they will come at you with no issue. I love them, but I mean, lace monitor. I don't know, man. Something about a lace monitor. I guess it's just, but I guess reptiles in general. I just love them all. I really do.
Yeah.
They're the best thing ever.
I've gone from ball pythons to adding lizards. I looked at a lot of snake species, and like I have a lot of snakes. So it was like the lizards were new. It was like this, like it just, and I really enjoy. Dad and I have been building these enclosures and doing them like live planted and, you know, drainage layers and the whole thing. So it's been a lot of fun designing them and building them and, you know, doing the dry lock background. I talked to Mike Stefani quite a bit, and
Mike.
And he gave me a lot of pointers on how to do that. And, you know, the first one turned out terrible, and then they got better and better and better. But they just, I don't know, the lizard, there's a bit of an interactive thing that I like about them. You can open the thing, like put your hand in, they come in and grab food off your hand, you know, like that's, I don't try that with the ball pythons. They miss. Yeah.
Well, Nicole, do you have any monitors at all? Have you ever kept any monitors?
No, closest thing, I've kept some cresties. That's pretty much it. Everything else has been snakes.
I feel like Nicole's meant to keep a tree monitor for some reason. In my, I feel like she's on Earth to keep a tree monitor, and I think
I've dabbled with the idea, but I haven't.
I can see you playing with basins.
Yeah.
Monitors, come on, monitors will help me here. We're trying to get her.
Honestly,
Yeah.
if everything aligned correctly and I had the means, Asian water monitor for me.
Oh,
That would be a dream.
God, yeah.
A dream
That's
monitor.
like owning a Great Dane. Like, I hope you're ready for a fucking big animal, man. Those,
I know,
but
that's
they're
why
like,
I don't have one. That's just a dream.
yeah, I mean, man, that's an like even a Nile monitor. Like, think about a monitor that is like $20 when it comes in through imports, you know. And
Yeah.
Nile monitor, dude, right? Yeah, it's gonna cost you 20 grand to keep. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's $20. But yeah. Anyways, all right. Listen, I got a wrap up question, and then Mila, if you got a wrap up question for Nicole, we get it in. But check this out. I love, we could all admit we love reptiles and we love what we do. Me and Emilio kind of feel like sometimes it hits different when you do this full time, like as far as how serious you take certain things. Like me and Emilio, when someone asks us business advice or anything about what we do for a living, we take it serious, like, because it's our livelihood, And if we're going to pass down information to somebody, we don't want to mislead, or we don't want to, like, especially like a lot of these people are my Patreon members or people who support us. So of course I want to help them out. Right. But is there a time and place where things can be taken too serious? And when I say serious, like certain morphs you invest in, like should a morph you invest in, like, have a certain feeling for you if like a different morph is doing better than it or something like that? Like, I'm just saying, like, should people be bitching about morphs?
No. No. I think people should just work with what they like, and stop focusing so much. Like, this is coming from someone who pretty much does this full time. Like, people focus too much on money, just too much on money. Like, just if you like it, buy it. And if you personally feel the price that you're paying for that animal is fair, then it is fair. It doesn't matter what anyone else will pay. It doesn't matter what, it doesn't matter. If you and the buyer and seller, whatever, can come to an agreement, you're both happy. That's what matters. It doesn't matter if the same animal's cheaper somewhere else. If you like that animal, just buy it. Like, it's a pet peeve of mine. Just stop worrying so much and just do it, and it'll work out.
Well, let me ask you this. How can someone reverse that then? Like, let's say someone's already in that mindset and they're hearing you out and they're like, damn, she's right. But they're kind of in too deep,
because be patient.
Yeah. Say that again.
Gotta be patient. Like, you can't dwell on the past. Just work with what you got now and focus on the future with that different mindset. Just gotta be patient.
Chase your projects, not the money. Money will come. It always comes.
Yep. There's so many other people that have the same kind of vision or the same likes that you do that will buy those animals that you don't keep. Like, you don't have to worry about what's hot, what's in the market, because everyone else is going to be trying to produce that. And there's going to be a million breeders that are already producing that before you anyway, and you'll be stuck anyway. So just focus on what you want to make for yourself, and it'll work out.
Because I will say this, if you are patient and you buckle down on anything, your time will come. Like, people get their waves eventually in this. That's what is so awesome about staying true to your projects. If it doesn't happen this year, it doesn't happen next year, it's going to happen. It's going to happen.
As long as you keep trying and don't give up. A lot of people give up right before they're going to hit big, and
that's why I can't really wrap my head around someone I look at who says they want to be in this forever, but they're not excited. Like, how are you not? Yeah. How the fuck are you not excited about what you can do in 3, 4, 5 years? That's why you are where you're at.
That's the point. Yeah.
Hello, like, and I think this year already that you're already looking around at, it's too late. Why are you worried about shit this year? Like, you should have worried about that 3, 4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? But I don't. That's why, and that's why I feel like no matter what's happening in the market, I'm having fun because I'm thinking about what I'm going to produce next year or the year after that. And I know in my head, just because I like to be confident, ain't nobody going to have this shit like this. So that's just have fun with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
There's never going to be shortage of opinions. Everyone is going to have opinions. I mean, it's the same thing. Like, we all go into the ice cream shop. Everyone gets something different. Well,
yeah.
Does that mean that every single one of those is bad? No. Yeah. It's just, I prefer this. Like, what's
exactly.
And the reality of the situation, and a lot of the times, it's like, I mean, the classic one recently has been the hypo and DG, right? Which pick one. It's like, bro, I can have both. I don't need to pick, man. I have tons of snakes.
Don't you mean the most recent one was Ultra Male Monarch?
I wasn't going to go there, but hey, whatever.
Well, Justin's going to pop back up. Hey, guys.
Yeah. Right. No, that whole argument, it's, again, it reminds me of different lines of Axanthic. They do different things. Like, you don't see the Axanthic guys bickering back and forth. I just, and to be honest, not to like this whole team, Ultra Male Team Monarch was started, and that right there sows a division. Yeah. Like, pick a side, and if you're on that side, fuck you. Like, what?
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
Guys, like, chill.
That's small thinking right there. Like, that.
I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I'm over that shit.
Oh yeah, all that team shit. Get the fuck. I'm team, not team. How about that? Like, that's like just.
I'm team. Make cool shit, and people will care.
Yes. Oh my god.
Exactly.
I'm team. Shut up and breathe. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
Have fun with it. Don't take it so seriously. There's stuff that I've made that people think is absolutely the stupidest shit you could be doing. Tri-stripe het clowns. People are like, what are you doing? That doesn't work. And I'm like, yeah, but like, I have them. I'm going to breed them. Guess what? Those tri-stripe het clowns this year are all sold. So I don't produce 20,000 snakes a year where I have to have like a gazillion animals to hit the masses. I produce 300 or 400 animals a year. And I keep back about 100 for myself. So I have 200 or 300 animals a year for sale. And at the end of the day, there's at least 200 or 300 other people out there that are interested in the stuff I'm interested in. And same for you, and same for Emilio, and same for MJ. So it doesn't matter. Exactly. Work TSK. Dude, work Jollifazanthic if you want to. Like, who cares?
You went a bit farther.
Yeah, right.
That was a bit of a reach. Yeah,
that was a good one. That was a good one.
If it was up to me, I would work the mace gene. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to go.
No, just have fun with it, guys. Like,
but have fun though, right, Will? Like, dude,
yes.
For most part, we're grown-up people. Like, we're all grown-ass motherfuckers. So why not have fun? You know how old we're gonna get here pretty soon? Like, let's just have a good time while we're fucking here doing the damn thing, man. And we can have fun and make money at the same time. Hello? Like, what other world is out there like that?
And if we can't have like playful banter about like genes, then like I'm not interested. I rip on Nicole all the time about pies. She rips on me about puzzle. I rip on Herbert about ultramel. Like, that's the fun part. Like we fuck with each other. Like that's
Emilio destroys Sunset any chance he gets.
I have Sunset.
Don't we all though?
But
oh, do you hear Nicole? She said, "Don't we all?"
I like Sunset. I like it. So
I like Sunset, but it's a challenge.
It's for sure. I'm attracted to that type of stuff, though. Stuff that's like, okay, how can we make it? That's
the challenge of it too. That's what I say about pie too. People are like, it's so hard to work with. It's like, let's have fun.
Yeah, have fun. That's it. Like, if you like it, then at the end of the day, you're excited to hatch them. And your excitement carries over. Like if I'm talking to somebody about puzzles, I'm very excited about the project and I'm really bullish on what it's going to do. And so when I'm talking to somebody about puzzles, it comes off like, yeah, I'm actually excited about this. I'm not just producing something I'm not excited about. Let's say I like a lot of this stuff. Like a G-stripe. I don't really love G-stripe that much on its own. And I don't produce those just to have G-stripes available. It doesn't fire me up. So I don't work with them, but there's other people out there that do, and they probably do well selling them. So
you don't like Kiki much, huh?
I have some. I made some, but
I just don't like it.
Again, I think that's just something that needs some tweaking. We're going to find something that'll work with it every single fucking time, man. Every fucking time. I'm like, that project's dead. That project's not going to do anything. Something crazy happens, and I'm like, boy, was I wrong. Justin's always the one, bro. The guy doesn't miss. Every time I'm like, that project, spot nose? Who the fuck wants spot nose? Boom.
Do you feel like that about Zebra, though?
What's that?
Do you feel like that about Zebra?
No, I think Zebra's great. I think it's got some real potential.
That's the first time I heard that in all year, I think.
It's like a pastel on steroids almost.
Again, not everything has to be like this crazy, like, not every recessive is a clown. Right, clown is pretty much an anomaly. Like, you have your clowns and their pies. Those two are like, okay, very extreme. But then you can get into like some other stuff that's a bit more subtle. And I think Zebra, like, just wait. Again, every time I've said no, I don't know how I feel about it. I regret saying that. Every time I put my foot in my mouth. So I've just learned to stop saying it because I'm the one that ends up looking like a dickhead.
Yeah, but it's also like cool sometimes, like to like be a dick, and so.
No, that's no fun.
I always say it because it is me who actually goes very ham on Sunset, but I know that Sunset has a place, just like every morph has a place here on Earth. Like we can't discriminate anything unless it's just an albino. But I mean, other than that, God bless. What do you got, Emilio, for Nicole?
All right, Nicole. So, how does it feel to be viewed as the most successful female in the ball python game?
Well, that's thank you. I don't know if I would agree, but I guess I just like to take the opportunity to tell people that I always advocate, just follow your dreams, just you do you. And if I could take the opportunity to do that, that's awesome. So that's pretty much what I strive to do. Anyone wants to have me on a podcast, like, yeah, sure. I'll just answer any questions, try to help people, just do their thing, you know? So if that's how I'm viewed, that's an honor. And I thank you guys for that.
He actually stole. I said it first, and then he jacked it from me for one thing. Okay, so whatever, dude. No, but seriously though, like to think about tenured and how long you've been doing this. I mean, I wish I knew of another female that was on that type of level. Like you're rooted back to an era that goes back to like Will doing this and Justin starting this and Emilio. So it's like I don't want to say you're the last standing female, but I just don't know who else who's been in the game as long as you and who's doing what you're doing with these projects. Let's keep it real. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm just telling you. Like,
your hits, in my view, okay, and some of my V unit members. One is a female and she loves you, Krista. Your production, I think, puts you there.
For sure.
Combos. I'm sorry, guys. You know, and listen, guess what? MJ said this a little earlier. Time is flying. And I think all of us in here have OG status now. I mean, not me. I'll tell you that if you make it, no, but hold on, MJ. If you make it past 6 years in the ball python game,
yeah, you're an old school, right? Yeah,
I think you're OG.
Yeah,
you know.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Guys, another question. What's the percentage of people that make it?
10%.
Like,
oh yeah, I was gonna say 10.
Yeah, I fully agree with you guys.
Yeah, not many.
So,
and even those that make it, they still. I've had a lot of friends that have been in it for longer than I have, at the time, and they leave, and it sucks. But life changes, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing too, because you meet people and you think, wow, you're going to be in this forever like I am, and then you just see
exactly.
You see a story post out of nowhere, and you're like, what? But also, like, it just reminds you, man, that could have been me if it wasn't meant to be. But I think when you're meant to be in here, you stay in here. And that's just the way it is. Like, you have things that happen to you that make you confident that you're in the right place. You know, like my life has changed so much for the better where, like, I'd be a fucking idiot. Like, I would have to be an addict or something really fucked up to leave and ruin everything that I have right here. Like I'm in this shit for life. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been to Canada and I've been to Will's place. His place is popping. Dude, I miss that pool. I don't know how many Bud Lights I had that day, man. It was a good time right there at your place. But I love
same thing. Come on up.
I love all the people that I've gotten to meet in this game, man. Like it's just an awesome place to be. But also, like you say, you just never know what is in store for other people. Like your luck just isn't other people's luck, and it's the way life goes sometimes. But what are you gonna do?
I mean, I just want to say, like, Nicole, like, we kind of started around the same time. I would see you on, the forums and Reptiles Canada and all that shit. And there's a lot of people in Canada that did some nice stuff, but you specifically were always one of those people, and I was always like, what the fuck are they up to? Like, what the fuck are they breeding? Like, it was always like that. Like, you were
awesome.
Like, good stuff. And I mean, it shows. Look at. I wish I could.
It's like to think outside the box and just try new things, and I think that works.
I'm just convinced that's the formula. Justin literally made a shirt that says "Go your own road." For some reason, he did. The more people that do that, that's just where you're gonna have success.
Imagine the shit we haven't seen yet, because people are scared to pair pastel into things. Like, pastel makes things so incredible sometimes.
Oh, dude.
And
that's
just one example.
You hear that about pastel, dude? Relax on pastel, dude.
You guys have no idea what's coming with pastel. Like, honestly, I'm starting to see glimpses with lace, with yellow belly, with the right genes in there, with cypress. Mm-hmm. There are going to be pastel combos that are 5,000 grams and look like a flashlight. They're not going to have a speck
just
of
think about what other gene gives that kind of yellow,
to make them.
Yeah.
Not with Monsoon in the mix.
Probably not.
Maybe that was too funny for me. I'm sorry.
Not everything goes together.
But that's also where people kind of like, they'll hear you say that, right? But they don't understand that it's still very careful to play with sometimes. Like
for sure.
You just can't be, here's another thing. Like, you know how people used to do this fucking one morph everything? That's kind of a stupid thing to do. You can't have everything one thing. Okay. No. I don't give a fuck. You just can't keep putting it back into it. Like, there has to be a time and place where you put certain things in certain projects because that's what levels the thing up. This whole everything, that's an old hashtag too. I mean, that's, some like just not really thinking big on that one. But either way, I just know that pastel for sure. It's going to be like hypo. Talking shit now, wait, it's going to slap you in the face here in a minute.
Dude, I know that's the case. And again, pastel doesn't work with anything. Pastel is not like a orange dream. Where an orange dream, you're safe to throw it at everything. It's not gonna, pastel, you throw at everything, you're gonna have some stuff where it doesn't work. But again, this comes down to the breeder understanding how certain genes interact, which genes give you the right effect. That's the, that's the shit that takes experience. That takes a long time to figure out. And you start to stumble upon the combos where you're like, hang on a second, this snake looks better with pastel in it. Yeah. Oh my God, crazy concept, right? But it's true. I have a cypress lace and I have a pastel cypress lace. Both adults. Dude, the pastel cypress lace absolutely smokes the cypress lace. Cypress lace is beautiful in its own right. But that specific combination, I can't wait to go like white lace, pastel, cypress swat, that type of shit. Like, you're going to get into wow type animals.
Hey, Will, I have to ask because I shared it in the group. That's that snake that you shared this week, the one with pastel in it. You want to spill the beans?
Will?
It's a spot nose puzzle combo.
Okay, because there's some speculation in my group about it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm sure there's. Yeah, I've had a lot of questions about it. You know what? I'll actually tell you what it is. It's a firefly spot nose puzzle, 100% het clown.
Okay.
Is that the one that you thought could have been possibly a visual clown? And you're
tested. Tested. Wow. It's 100% het clown. But
that thing is fucking nuts, bro. That's
fire, bro.
That's incredible, bro.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Nicole, did you like that one?
Yeah, but last we talked about it, you thought it was the visual.
I know. I did. Well, the head when it came out.
I didn't realize it. I was surprised that it's not.
I thought it was too.
That's actually very exciting though too. So
I sent the picture to a bunch of guys and was like, "Here's the pairing. What is this? Am I crazy?" And like 90% of people were like, "Yeah, that's a visual clown." I'm like, "This is the craziest clown I've ever seen. If this is a clown, like this doesn't make any sense." And we tested it.
This is it, right? This is not it?
No, not
that's a fire spot nose puzzle.
Is it on your page?
Yep. Go up. Right, the third one.
Oh, right here. Wait, this one right here.
Yeah, that right there.
Wow.
Yeah, it turned out real good. So, knowing that that's an avenue, I'm gonna try and go like DGA Xanthic with this. I want to get other stuff into it. Like, my mind just goes like, I think we can. It has really good blacks. The yellows staying great. Like, I'm very, very excited about that direction. So
that thing is sick.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I was pretty pumped. Yeah.
What's all this shit talk on visual clown puzzles not being like the move? Like, what's? I
don't know. I mean, I hear it over and over and over again from guys who aren't working with it.
So, isn't that the case?
It's
God damn.
I think I saw Chase mention in a podcast that they had tested some of the clown het puzzles that they were working with, and some of the stuff that they had thought was puzzle clown, and they ended up being clown 100% het puzzles. And I thought that was a puzzle clown, and it's a puzzle het clown. Now, obviously, odds are a crazy thing. Like, I go back to the GHI puzzle. Like, we went through so many eggs to hit that GHI puzzle, and Joel finally hit the first, like, confirmed GHI puzzle. And I personally went through like 40 eggs and nothing. And that was only a 1 in 8 shot. So these 1 in 16s, they're not necessarily like, there's not like it's like, oh, we did 3 clutches, we must have hit it. No, it doesn't work like that. So we're at the point now where I personally have some combo clown het puzzles and combo puzzle het clowns. So
wow,
I think if we still can't make them, then I'm going to be like, okay, something's weird here.
Has there
But,
been a confirmed puzzle clown then? Because remember my speculation, I've probably told you in the past that maybe they're allelic in some way. And you're like, nah, don't say that.
I don't know how that could be allelic if you're getting a visual puzzle 100% het clown.
Oh, right. Wow,
I mean, I know for sure I've bred clown combos to puzzle het clowns and made clowns that are 100% het puzzle. So they can't be allelic. I personally, my gut feeling is we just haven't hit it. Or we haven't, the ones that maybe have been hit, maybe they're not that crazy. But if we can make that thing as a visual clown.
Still early, yeah.
Let's How about that one? How about that one nice one? Maybe that's the only one we really hit.
So one was made in Japan, right? And like that's in like 2014, like way back.
Maybe that's the only one.
I wouldn't be surprised. I did hit something a couple years ago. Actually, the mother of this snake, who's for sure a clown. I called her a puzzle clown off the bat, pastel puzzle clown. Really reduced back pattern, almost like a barbed wiry type pattern, and a lot of flaming coming up the sides. Very not normal for a pastel clown. I don't have a puzzle test here in Canada quite yet. We should have it in the next couple of months. So once I do, I'll test her. That's actually the mother of the snake that you just showed. And yeah, it just, I know for sure it's a clown het puzzle because she's obviously a puzzle. So there's no cryptic involved in this because the cryptic, all the parents are het clown. So they'd be kryptons and be visual. So there's no cryptic floating around there. I do have a test out on her just to be like, for my own sanity, a cryptic test going out for her. And my personal opinion on that whole project is that it just hasn't been made, or it hasn't. If it's been made, we haven't put the right stuff into it, you know.
Yeah,
so
we haven't seen the good shit yet.
We've got hurricane, yellow belly, red stripe, lace, spot nose, those type of genes all mixed into the puzzle clown now. So once we start putting that stuff back together, like if it doesn't work, I'll be shocked. But even if it doesn't work, I know that the puzzle does. So, you know, anyway, I got it. I've got that stuff in puzzle, you know? So, yeah, I was very happy with that. Thanks. I'm glad you guys liked it. It's pretty cool.
I mean, I've been fucking, I mean, it's still clueless to me why I don't have puzzle, but ever since I've seen your place, when I went to your place, Will, and you were busting all this shit out, that's when I realized the future of ball pythons is looking better with age. Like, as they get older, they look better. And for the first time, when you were showing these puzzle combo adults, I think you had puzzle DG then. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw. And I was like, wait a minute, what? Like, this is a breeder? And I couldn't believe the contrast, what I was looking at. Like, it looked like it was something born that year, but it was
it stayed really nice. The puzzle DGs certainly seem to hold contrast right into adulthood, where like the DG clowns, it fades a bit. Right. That's one for sure that I'm really excited about. And then obviously Hypo DG puzzle, it's a no-brainer. That's going to be insane. DG Axanthic puzzle, that's going to be. And
you're going to throw white lace in there, I'm assuming, at some point?
We have shots right now for white lace puzzle combos this year. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. So let's hope. I mean, it's het to het, so long odds. But we did hit some lace puzzles this year that I'm growing them up, and they just, again, those steps that increase your odds year over year, you know. Instead of working with hets, now I have visual lace puzzle girls. It's just time. It's just time. We'll get there. I'm not tripping about it. You know, I just keep breeding them. Have fun.
All right, Milo, be quick about it. One hot tea question each, and I'm going first. Here we go. Will Moros.
Yes.
You could hit one snake this year for it to mean everything, like the championship snake. What could it be?
Oh, dude, man, that's a tough one.
Take your time. No, don't take your time. It's quick. Hurry up.
I'm going to go Desert Ghost Axanthic Clown Pied.
Woo! Desert Ghost Axanthic Clown Pied.
Yeah.
Is there anything else in there? Like any kind of recipe, like additives, or just looking to hit that visual there?
No, it's quad het to quad het. No other genes in it. I'm not. Baby steps, bro.
Oh, fuck. All right. What about you, Nicole?
Honestly, I'd love to hit another quad, but a male this time. Black Axanthic, Desert Ghost, Hypopide. But more realistically, I really want to hit a monarch pied. That'd be really cool.
Damn.
Yeah.
That sounds amazing. All right, Emilio, what do you got?
I wasn't ready for this. I didn't know.
Well, that's how it be
Hot seat.
sometimes. I'm testing you, buddy. Like, this is how it goes down.
All right. One's got to go, Nicole. All right.
Yep.
This hurts. Hurts most of the time. Black axanthic hypo DG pied or leopard black axanthic DG hypo.
Do I sell it?
No. You know, the funny thing is you produce both. One's got to go.
Yeah, one's got to sell. You got to sell one. Damn. Got her, dude.
The triple, because she didn't prove het pied. I got to keep the pied in there, so I'll let the triple go, even though she's my favorite out of all of them.
Nice.
So, which one are you letting go? The leopard?
The leopard, yeah.
Okay, the leopard blackhead. I'm sorry, black axanthic DG hypo, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, man, I don't have a hot seat for Will. Yeah, I have to think about it. You want to try it? You want to give me more time, MJ? You want to?
No, I don't. I want you to think of a hot seat right now for my man Will. This is ridiculous. Come on. How you gonna? I could think of like fucking 80 right now. Are you kidding me? Like, you have
Put
10
him on the spot.
Writer's block.
Yeah.
All right, Nicole, you want to take Emilio's hot seat question and give one to Will?
All right, well.
Take
Puzzle.
notes. Take notes, Emilio.
Puzzle.
If you can only work with one other recessive of puzzle, and it can't be Desert Ghost, what would it be?
Woo! Oh, I like that.
Oh man.
That's obvious. He's gonna pick Desert Ghost. So
Hypo.
it's gonna.
Hypo,
Yeah,
nice.
that's fair. Yeah.
All right, respect.
Yeah. So far, from what I've seen, right? We haven't seen a lot
What
of
about Monarch? Put Monarch to it.
I've
That'd
seen
be
it.
pretty dope.
Monarch would be dope too. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
for
right.
sure. I mean, I've seen some hypo puzzles now and I've been like, fuck, okay. This
All right. Totally redeem yourself, Emilio. Come on.
Oh,
Show
you
this
still
girl
want me to
off
go?
by
Oh my gosh. Look
Oh,
at that.
Damn.
Holy
Yes.
wow.
yeah.
So I'm keeping this one.
Yeah.
That's
the quad.
crazy.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
That's
the
crazy.
quad, bro. That's making me sweat.
Right?
Holy
It's like
shit.
700 grams now.
Hot. Oh, my AC's off. That's why. Sorry. All right. Come on, Emilio. Let's go, dude. Pick it up. Let's
Can I ask
go.
him a question instead?
Shh, that's a hot seat. That's what it is.
All right, Will. I was gonna get to this, but I never got to it. How do you feel? You know, you being the puzzle man. You know,
Sure.
how do you feel right now that everyone and their mama is getting into puzzle? How does that make you feel right now?
Sure.
It's
Give me a call. yeah. I'm fine with it. I mean, I knew this day was gonna come, right? It's a good project. That's just through and through. So
Isn't that kind of asking someone like, how do you feel? You just won the Super Bowl. Like, what the fuck? Are you like,
Well, no, hey, some people they're like, fuck, you know, they're not happy. You know what I mean?
no,
They're so dumb.
yeah, that's crazy to think that way because I can't do it all. I want to be able to buy puzzles in. I want people to show, oh, look at what that gene interaction does. Okay, I can start to work this way. Like that's what builds a project. If only one person is hoarding it all, like then it's just their private collection. It's not.
I think and correct me if I'm wrong. I think that is the gene that most people got into the last couple of years.
yeah,
I would tend to agree.
I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
Puzzle's done really, really well for us, and it's.
Yeah.
I foresee it continue to shake things up a bit.
But well deserved though. Like that's a gene that deserves the foundation it's been giving people right now. Because I've seen it, like I said, I firsthand saw what it's doing for you, Will, and that was fucking over 2 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you gotta come up and see the new ones, man.
Oh, I'm there. Oh, I'm there, bro. My travel.
This year, it just every year gets better.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
All right, I got a hot seat finally.
Oh shit.
And it's simple, bro. But you know what? I wanna hear your answer. Hypo puzzle or DG puzzle?
DG puzzle.
All day?
Yeah.
Really?
Okay.
Come on.
Okay. Again, not every single thing. Like it depends on the combination. But from what I have seen, I'm going DG puzzle for sure. That's not saying I'm not working hypo puzzle. I'm working a lot of hypo puzzle. But the real answer is hypo DG puzzle.
Okay.
Yeah.
For me,
I agree.
that's kind of the go ahead. But I mean, dude, like Emilio, when MJ comes up, come on up with him. I'll show you some DG puzzles. I mean, I might change your mind pretty quick. You gotta see them in person. You gotta just hold them and just be like, wow.
Yeah,
They
I'm
look
with you
vintage.
guys. Anything DG should have hypo in it. 100%.
Yes.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes.
They go together. We were joking on the way to Tinley. We were trying to come up with that. You know how last time I said they were like salt and pepper? But that's not a good analogy. It's more like a peanut butter cup.
No, dude, no.
Right?
What is it? Here's this. This is a good example. I mean, if you're like me, right? But think about like an epic salad, right? And it has dressing, but then imagine bacon bits, right? Like bacon bits on a salad changes fucking everything, especially if it's real bacon, right? That hypo is bacon a DG, dude. Let's be real. Like you need.
Sure, to me,
I
that
agree.
means
They go together.
butter cup. If you take one away from each other, then you're just left with chocolate or peanut butter. Both are good, but when you put them
Yeah.
together, it's magic.
God, we're fat. Hey, dude, what an epic episode. 2 hours went by way too quick. We had just shy of 100 people tapped in. People know where to come on a Thursday night. So what do we have to say? Let's start with you, Nicole. This was your round 2 episode. So glad to have you back.
Yeah.
But what do you have to say to all the love and support you've been getting, not only tonight, but just overall throughout the hobby? A lot of people told me how excited they were for tonight's episode. So all your love and support, what do you have to say out there for that?
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the support. I'm just going to continue doing what I do and making cool looking snakes and have fun with it.
Hell
I
yeah.
encourage everyone to do the same.
Yep. And Big Will, what you got to say, man? You know, like I said, you're always a huge support here at the Trap. You always come through. I appreciate you. But what do you have to say, you know, just basically anyone out there in Canada right now, anyone out there who's just kind of been watching you grow and just kind of, I don't know, anything motivational you have to say to any Canadian keepers out there?
I guess just chase your projects, man. Work with the stuff you like. Don't let the noise distract you. You know, you're going to get pulled a million different directions. You can't do it all. Just because there's a comparable gene for you, there's cryptic, there's puzzle, there's ultramel, there's monarch, there's DG and ants. Let all that shit go. Focus on making your stuff the best it can be, and you will be successful.
Facts. Were you gonna say something, Emilio?
To both of you, much love and respect. It was a pleasure to get to know both of you today.
Yeah.
Thank you. Likewise.
Now, Nicole, you're mostly active on Instagram, right? Canadian Regis on IG. If people want to be on top of your stuff, is it that's the place to follow you?
Yeah, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, although I'm slacking there, but I'm on there.
I think everyone's slacking on YouTube nowadays, other than
It's tough.
Trap.
It's tough. Yeah, it's tough, man.
Oh, I forgot to pet, and this is mainly because I want you to watch this, Will, tomorrow on my other channel. I'm breaking down all my tree monitor projects.
Yeah,
So,
I think I've consumed every ounce of tree monitor content available on the internet.
all right. Well, listen, go check that tomorrow. And then also, guys, go follow Will Morrow's Royal Canadian Reptiles on IG, Facebook, and YouTube. But give it up for these two Canadians' finest. It's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. Give it up.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a good night, you two. We'll see you again, okay? Take care.
For sure.
Peace. Damn. That was hot. That was a
Amazing.
great episode, man.
Loved it.
Think about Canada, a whole market, two of Canada's most powerful ball python breeders right there, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, if we're talking longevity, future-wise, nobody holds a candle to these two as far as what's to come. You know what I mean? So
Facts.
this was an awesome episode. Even more awesome because you're a part of this Thursday night. I appreciate it, man.
I enjoyed it 100, fully. It was great.
Yeah, man. All the love and support. So just under 100 people tonight. What do you have to say to everyone out there?
No, thank you all, and let's keep it rolling. The Trap Talk Reptile Network, baby.
Yep. And you catch this guy every Monday night. New breeder on the block. It's my road dog right here. And have a good weekend. I'm sure I'll talk to you soon, Emilio. But guys, go follow him on IG. Villarino Reptiles. Go subscribe to the V Unit family. Shout out to the V Unit family, by the way. But it's a wrap for the homie Big E Top G Villarino Reptiles, ladies and gentlemen.
Have a good night. Thank you, bro.
Have a good night, dog. See you later. Thank you, guys. Again, Thursday nights. I love them. They're the best. But also, anyone out there who was tapping in on tonight's episode, thank you for all the love and support. Let's get the likes up, man. Before you leave and enjoy the rest of your Thursday night, get the likes up. It's free. All right. Also, subscribing. It's completely free. And if you hit that bell, ding, it reminds you of everything that I release here on this network. Okay. We're talking 6 days a week tomorrow. All right. Thank God it's Colubid Fridays going down, all right, with JMG, the homie junior. JMG Reptiles is hosting tomorrow's podcast. And then Saturday, if you really want to get down with the monitor talk, all monitor talk with Uncle Mike and Jen. Going down this Saturday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And just thank you for all the love and support, man. You know, you'll catch me here Monday night, Newbury on the Block. But if you're looking for exclusive content, if you want to support more than just watching, if you want to tap in with all the trappers, 200 plus amazing reptile keepers, click the very first link in the description below. Join the Trap Talk Patreon family. Get connected to the Discord. We also have an amazing Instagram group chat. All right, just come grow with us. Come have fun with us. And I appreciate all the love and support, man. I just cannot get enough of all the support I get from all you guys. Again, shout out to tonight's sponsor. Appreciate all the sponsors. Go down to the link. Check out all my sponsors in the description below. And have a good night, man. And again, don't forget, tomorrow, check out my vlog. All right, the Trap Reptile vlogs on YouTube. Go subscribe. Set your reminder. I break down all my tree monitor projects finally, and I had a good time doing it. That's it. It's a wrap. 476 episodes in the books. Nicole Lyons, round 2. Thank you so much. Have a good night, and I'm out. Cheers.